Hello, I'm Ryan Permison. On August the 28th of 1993, a new children's television program debuted on what was known as the Fox Kids Network. It was titled Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it started on five, which eventually became six. Teenagers with attitude, chosen by the wise sage known as Zordon, aided by his trusted assistant Alpha 5, to transform themselves into what is known as the Power Rangers and to fight the forces of evil led by Rita Repulsa, and then a little bit later on during its early seasons, the enemy known as Lord Zed. One of those characters was Tommy Oliver, portrayed by Jason David Frank. Played the Green Ranger, and then he became other Rangers as his time on the show and the series went on. Unfortunately, we lost Jason David Frank a few weeks ago, but here in this special presentation, we're going to be celebrating the memories, the life, and the times of the late great Jason David Frank, who portrayed Tommy Oliver on the hit TV series Power Rangers. But I'm not alone on the morphing grid for this tribute, this celebration of Jason David Frank's life. Joining us tonight are some very special guests, and we're going to have some other guests joining us as the program goes on. But kicking things off, I want to introduce our good friend from With a Side of Chaos podcast. Please welcome Patricio, also known as Rocky. Rocky, good to see you, kind sir. How are you?
Ryan, thank you for having me tonight. I am honored to be part of this because Jason David Frank played a pivotal role in the development that is Rocky.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much for being here. And I also want to introduce our other panelists who are joining us tonight on the Morphin Grid. Please welcome a good friend of Nerd Culture in the studio. Please welcome Matt Kearns. Kearns, how you doing, brother?
Zero Ranger 5. I'm doing good. Here to celebrate the life of one of the all-time great Rangers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. By the way, it's Zero Ranger 5 Red, just so you know what you're
See, I was going to say that, but I'm like, does he say red or am I thinking of red? Because I know for Turbo he says Red Lightning Turbo Power. I wasn't sure.
Yes, but he does say Zero Ranger 5 Red in that script. Anyway,
I haven't watched Zero in a bit.
It's okay. You got some homework to do after the show. Also joining us is Tim Smith. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, it was sad hearing that. I mean, this is one of my favorite shows of all time. Growing up as a kid, watching it all the way into adulthood because I just stick with shows I like. So, let's have some good memories, some celebration, and let's do this.
Absolutely. Well, before I turn things over to our panelists and myself to share our thoughts and our feelings and some of our favorite memories featuring Jason David Frank, I want to invite you to take a moment, collect your thoughts. I'm going to invite you, the person who may be watching or listening to this. Don't forget to like and share this video with all of your closest friends. If you have any memories of Jason David Frank, let us know in the comments. But we're going to allow you a moment to collect your thoughts and your feelings and some of the things you want to share about the celebration of life featuring Jason David, in this case, Jason David Frank. And we want to show you just a few little pieces, just a few little highlights of some of the moments featuring his character known as Tommy Oliver, portrayed by Jason David Frank. Take a look.
Get ready, kids, because it's the Power Rangers on home video like you've never seen them before. There's 10 hot, more phenomenal video classics now in bright new packages. And now each 30-minute video includes a special feature interview with the Rangers themselves that's not available on TV.
Yes!
Woo! The 10 repackaged breakthrough videos include Day of the Dumpster, High Five, Food Fight, Happy Birthday Zach, and No Clowning Around. Plus, there's the most popular Ranger of all, the Green Ranger Tommy, in his very own miniseries titled Green with Evil, consisting of the other 5 action-packed videos. Out of Control, Jason's Battle, The Rescue, Eclipsing Megazord, and finally, Breaking the Spell. And the Power Rangers excitement just keeps on growing in 3 brand new videos. These 3 new titles are The Wannabe Ranger, Putty on the Brain, and Bloom of Doom. This new triple power play of video excitement includes a new bad guy, their most menacing adversary yet, the new alien leader, Lord Zed. New Power Zords, fantastic creatures of unbelievable power. Plus, they each contain a special new power music video. So get ready for more power, more fun, more action, and more special effects with these 13 great Power Ranger home videos.
Oh my goodness! Does that not bring nostalgia to you, or what? I'm telling you.
I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a little bit just watching that promo.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. Definitely some great hits, great memories, hits. Just saying. But with that being said, someone else has joined the Morphin Grid because we need more power and more stories to share about Jason David Frank's life. Please welcome our friend of the Great White North of Canada, Willow Schuyler's in the building. What's
Hi.
up, Willow?
Sorry for being fashionably late.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good. We were playing a promo, getting the audience as well as our panelists just warmed up. But anywho, thank you for being with us, Willow Schuyler, friend of the Great White North. Now, as far as memories featuring Jason David Frank, I want to turn things over to Rocky, aka Patricio. Rocky, any memories or any moments for you from Jason David Frank that stand out?
So this is where I'm going to growing up in Chicago, my dad left when I was 2 months old, so I never had that father figure or that male figure in my life. And when it came out and debuted, it was a game changer. And it was when I saw all of them, Billy, Trini, Kimberly, Zach, Jason, it was like, wow, you guys are like the family that I never had. But then everything changed when we got introduced to the Green Ranger and Tommy Oliver. You know, we got introduced by the dark side of Jason David Frank, and then he turned good. So fast forward about 15 years later, and this is where like I'm gonna open up about what had happened to me. I was at a MegaCon, I think it was either 2018 or 2019, and I was in a Q&A for Jason David Frank, and it went once I got up to the microphone, I I lost it. I had a question ready to go. I was set up, and then I just started crying. I started crying because I was in front of my hero. And when I got on the microphone, I said, Jason, you did so much for me because you were the father figure, you were the big brother, you were the male role model that a lot of us who didn't have that in our lives, a lot of us that didn't have that in our lives was there. And like once he heard me say that, he stopped everything. He got up and pulled me up to the stage. He's like, come here, brother, come here, come here. And now I'm just freaking out because Jason David Frank is pulling me up. He's pulling me up to the main stage and he hugs me. And he was like, it's because of people like you. It's because of people like you I did what I did. And I I'm sorry that I'm getting very emotional right now, but Jason David Frank did a lot for my development as not as a man, but just as a human being because he was nothing but positive. And then once I started following him with, Bat in the Sun and everything that he did, it was just like, yo, this is honest to God, one of the best human beings this world has ever seen. And then when I found out what had happened, it broke my heart because there's one thing that gets overlooked in this world, and that is the mental health of men. And I know mental health gets reviewed by everybody, but the one thing that gets kind of overlooked is mental health of men in general. And he helped me realize that it's okay to express your feelings. It's okay to feel what you feel and show that to the world. So when Jason David Frank pulled me up to that stage and hugged me, it changed my life because it brought light to a lot of things in my life. And for the way he left this world, it breaks my heart, but it at the same time it brings awareness to a lot of people that if you're not feeling right and you feel like if you're facing some demons, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to express it because whether it's Ryan, Willow, Tim, whoever, sometimes your friends can help you through.
Mhm.
And you shouldn't feel ashamed to show your feelings.
Mhm.
I'm
No,
not.
not at all.
I'm not ashamed for the tears. I'm not ashamed for my feelings.
Okay.
But at the same time, like I want this. Jason left this world
Mhm.
with a statement to show everybody that, like, if you have, if you're facing demons and you're facing troubles, talk about it,
Mhm.
please, because we can't lose anyone else like we lost Jason. And with that being said, Ryan, thank you so much for having me. Today was a little bit of a long day. I'll be honest. I've had a couple of drinks, but I've said comes from my heart because Jason David Frank made an impact on my heart as he did with everybody who's watching this,
Mhm.
watching the stream.
Mhm.
And I'm not even gonna plug my stuff. I'm not,
Oh, okay.
because I want all of us as a collective to have a moment of silence for someone who should not have left this world the way he left. Thank you so much for the impact you left because you changed so many lives, and we love you for that. And with that being said, my name is Patricio, aka Rocky from With the Side of Chaos. Y'all have a good night,
Mhm.
and I don't want to accept it. I really don't, but it's the truth. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you.
All right. Well, Patricio / Rocky, thank you so much for being with us. Grateful that you were here to take some time out of your day or night in this case, because I believe he's in Florida, if I remember correctly. It's all the East Coast. But thank you so much for being here and sharing your thoughts and your feelings and your memories of Jason and Frank with us. We greatly appreciate it. Do not get me wrong. And to just to let you know, Rocky, for those of you who are watching or tuning in just now, we are celebrating the life and the times of the late great Jason David Frank. Make sure you like and share this video with all of your closest friends. If you have any memories or any thoughts, feelings you want to bring up, the positivity that Jason David Frank brought to your life, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments, whether you're watching this live or on the replay. Also, Rocky, we are going to be doing a moment of silence for JDF towards the end of the show. That's not going to be a problem at all. I was already planning on doing that. So we will be more than happy to do so just a little bit later on in the show. Do want to let you know that check out his podcast, With the Side of Chaos. Good guy, good man out there. He's got a lot of good things going on. And once again, Patricio, thank you so much for being with us, brother. Our hearts are with you. We go out to you, and I'm sending you some virtual hugs, if you will, because dudes can hug, right? Yeah, we can do it. It's fine.
I was gonna say I wanted to give Rocky a hug.
I know, seriously.
Oh
Like,
my
I wish I could have
Lord.
jumped through the morphing grid here for a minute, and you know what I mean? Got my
Yeah.
arms around it, sure. But no, all sincerity, thank you for being with us, Rocky, for sure, definitely. And we wish you well, enjoy your weekend, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, Willow's fashionably late, which means to put on her pink outfit because every Power Ranger team needs a pink Ranger.
I was
right?
about to say she showed up, made us 5 Rangers, and is the Pink Ranger.
She's Pink Ranger.
We got the
so-
red, we got the black,
And
the orange, and the Pink Ranger.
I have to rock the saber-tooth tiger.
Oh man,
as well.
hold on a second. Let me
Oh,
bring that
yeah.
up for a second. Hold that up. Let me see that. There you go. Is that the saber-tooth tiger power coin?
Yes.
It is Saber-tooth
Yeah.
tiger.
There's
Wow.
the
Okay.
Legacy morpher that my
So-
parents wouldn't buy me back in.
Looks like
2010.
the Green Ranger Legacy Morpher for the Keller,
Yeah,
because I know it
it's in
had
the
that.
golden morpher.
Yeah, it had that golden color compared to the other one.
It does,
Just
it
was
does.
like the silver.
Nice. You chose wisely. So you're celebrating the memory of the late great Jason Avery Frank, and we also, unfortunately,
And I
lost
know
Tweety
how much
Frank
you
back in
like
2001.
props. They're Ryan's, so I had to.
All right, let me bring that up for a
Why
second.
is Willow showing all the stuff I want to
But
have?
she-
but don't?
Because
mean-
this is my childhood, and I have no money to spend on children. So I
Trust me,
spend it on
I
myself.
completely.
Have you
I
seen
can
Tim's studio, Willow?
completely
Look at his studio. Let's bring this up for a second. Tim, show
like
us what
here.
you
Let
got, man.
me like. I mean, so far that's like season 1, 2. Then I got 3. Then I got In Space down there.
Dude.
It's basically just by
I'm so
season.
jealous of you guys.
Dude, Kearns is so ticked off right now. He's like, dude, you have
Okay,
everything that I
well,
wanted
no,
when I was a kid.
Because this is
I
the
mean,
thing: is all the
I
legacy
would send you my
stuff-
extra ones, but I already sent
all
that
the
to
all the legacy stuff was coming
RJ.
out when I was in like high school and college and didn't have a
Ooh.
job and the money. Then by the time I
Ooh.
get a job and have money, it's all not being made. Bandai doesn't have it anymore. And
Hasbro
now
does.
it's like secondhand. Like I would,
Yeah, but
the
Hasbro does.
Zeonizers is the thing I want the most, but they're so
Oh,
expensive.
yeah,
the
they are.
Zeonizers in the Power Story,
The
but they are
Bandai
like,
ones are
way
they're
out
going
of
up
my
to a couple
price
$100
range,
now,
so.
Tim.
Oh, what the heck? Or the
They're probably
Bandai
600 by
ones?
now.
yeah, the legacy ones or the
Yeah,
The
the
Bandai's
legacy
that
collection.
came out with the Legacy line, yeah.
It's so hard to find
Because that's
but
those are my
Hasbro
the Zeonizers are
Hasbro
my
is-
favorite
is
morphers.
doing
Oh, dude.
a lot of them.
I was so lucky that my aunt got me the Zeonizer as a birthday gift, like the last year or so before the Hasbro bought the rights. Sorry, Kern. So I mean to what is it called? Like wipe it in your face. But it's
Ugh,
like
yeah.
Well, it's funny when
Freaking
the
Hasbro.
Game Gear came out back in the 90s.
Oh my god,
this-
the Game
I'm
Gear.
aging myself, guys, but
No, I love Game
uh,
Gear.
when it came out, Power Rangers was the
Ugh.
first game that I got. Oh man.
Nice.
That's
cool.
Nice.
I'm not taking this bitch out of the box. I think I got this from you, didn't I, Ryan?
I think you did.
And
yeah.
that's the nice thing
Yeah.
about a lot of the packaging for that line is that it's almost designed to be kept in the box for some of them, so that
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
do that. Like,
Well, I mean, like the
think I can solve
golden,
that,
like
too.
just the
Yeah.
golden outline of it. It's beautiful boxing. I mean,
that's
It's
awesome.
the box
The
is so
Zords,
beautiful. I don't even want to take it out.
they are.
All right, I gotta update my Christmas list to my mom and add a bunch of more Power Ranger stuff right now.
gotta
Don't
do
just
it.
ignore the solo Kokujin Megazord because
So Shogogan, yeah.
yeah, that's God. I think I got mine day 1 for 300. I've seen them.
Ooh,
Now for
300.
500.
Oh man,
Yeah, I'm
that's
not as
steep.
into the Zords. I'm more into honestly the role playing items and some of the
Mhm.
automorphing figures. That's really
mean the
the
flip
cool-
heads?
I mean,
You mean
those
the
you
flip
can
heads?
find cheaper.
You can find you can find out of the what do you call those things? Loose. You can find loose versions of the old school
Out of
flip head
box,
figures.
out of
at
Well,
Toy
and the
Store for
nice
like
thing is
$7.
Target a few years ago did reproductions of them, so
Mhm.
they have new ones that aren't
out now.
that much.
Oh,
yeah. So
they,
I haven't.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but
on Big Bad
Hasbro
Toy Store
revamped
pretty
the
cheap
flip head figures.
terms.
Oh, they did. I didn't hear about this. Ooh.
Yeah, they're at Target. Or maybe,
Mhm.
no, I'm not at Target. What's the other place?
Walmart.
Yeah,
Walmart
Tim, they
did
might
them.
be.
Huh.
Yeah, Kearns, you need to go to
Yeah.
Walmart or Target because they
I
have
was-
tons of the flip heads.
Yeah, I gotta look. 'cause
Yeah, it's
I gotta
Walmart
get
has
Jason
them.
and both of the Tommies.
Yeah,
For
Yeah.
well, the Tommies are probably going to be flying.
Yeah, now. Well,
No offense. I'm
Like
not
I
trying to
like I
demean
said,
anything
check
in any way,
out
shape, or form.
check
but
out
like,
Big Bad Toy Store. You could probably find them.
okay.
Entertainment
Cheap
Earth is
online.
another one.
Yeah.
Kearns.
I need
Yeah,
to up
yeah.
my figurine game though. Like that is
I
incredible.
know Tim Smith has like 50,000 PR figures, and I'm sitting here with like
Oh.
20 of them.
That's nothing. My
Like I
friend-
said, season 1 and season 2. I still got to get Adam. I gotta find Rocky, but I don't want the metallic. I
Yeah, the
never
metallic
liked
armor's
the
kind of
metallic.
lame.
So I Adam just recently came out. Unfortunately, not without. He doesn't have the power axe. He has like some weird ass spray thing he used in one freaking
How do you
episode.
not have a power axe? This is ridiculous.
It's Hasbro.
It's Hasbro. They like to take creative liberties with.
Talk about the
figures.
original figures. My friend Michael has
As what?
which has the really rare Rocky, Adam, and
Oh.
Aisha flip heads from
Yeah,
the
Oh,
original
dude, are
Flip
those
Heads.
like
Wow.
super hard to find these days?
Yeah, and he
Mhm.
said he was on eBay because he runs a great channel called Retro Blast, and he's prepping to do a Power Rangers
Oh, is he?
like video. And
Mhm.
he said he was just on eBay looking for figures, and someone had them, and he's like, I don't even think this guy knew what he had. I think he just
Yeah.
was selling the flip ads, and he was like, oh, those are the really rare second red, yellow, and black
second
Ranger,
wave,
and you
yeah.
just bought them for pretty cheap. And I was like, you
Mhm.
son of a bitch.
Man, there's so many. Never mind. Anyway, well, I'll tell you what. We can compare notes all day about action figures, collectibles, etc., etc. But we are here to celebrate what is. Sorry,
Yes.
what is known.
Well,
Let me try to get us
But
back
I
on
mean,
the.
we wouldn't be here
Well,
if it
well,
wasn't. We wouldn't be fans. We wouldn't have these figurines if it weren't for
Power Rangers in
Tommy
general,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jason David Frank was a big part of that
Of
too.
course.
I am not. Just by the way, Tim, let me see that White Ranger one more time. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
Is that the
Wow.
Lightning collection?
This one, yeah, they're both the lightning.
Yeah, I have White
collection.
Ranger or Lightning collection. Because no offense, I'm more of a White Ranger fan than I was a Green Ranger fan back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, it really did change it up a
That's
lot.
why I love the Tiger
especially-
Zord more than the Dragon Zord, dude. That Dragon Zord's too heavy. The Tiger Zord's more agile.
Ah,
You know?
see,
See, I'm a season 1 Mighty Morphin person, so I'm more Dragon
Basically,
Zord
yeah,
and
you like anything that
Green
says
Ranger.
Dragon Sword. You know?
And Green Ranger.
Yeah.
But I'm
You just
also a Jason person. That's also
Well,
why I'm like early Power
Burns,
Rangers.
I will
early,
say-
early Power
Once
Rangers.
Jason leaves, then I'm like, Mighty
Eh.
Morphin. Then I love Zeo, but it's like after Jason leaves for a bit, I'm like, eh.
I think we're going to be on Tim's studio camera all
Yeah,
night. 'cause
you should
honestly,
just
we
leave
have
it there.
2,000
I was gonna
followers, and
say,
Bill and I are
Burns,
looking at each
if
other like,
you-
dude, we're barely
Everyone
at
can
20.
if you
hear
do
us.
want-
We'll just all up.
It's
Oh.
you put these
Oh,
together
wow.
yourself.
Titanus.
Ultra Zord.
Yeah, you put these together yourself. They're like the super mini claws they call them in Japan.
Oh, never mind.
Uh,
Those are different.
and they just re-released season 1 with the Megazord Dragon
really?
Zord on Big Bad Toy Store.
Ooh.
They're like $100 a piece,
have
something
to get
around
that.
that area.
You
Titanus,
guys know
just
a
have to
fun
look
thing
for.
about that
But-
setup from the series?
I've never had
is
Titanus or Ultra Zord. I've never had that.
that they
Yeah.
didn't have Titanus, like they didn't have footage of it, so they just used the old toys and they just shot it. So in the show, when Titanus comes together with the Dragon Zord, it's just the toys they put together.
Well, I know they did that for the Ninja.
Yeah, the
They-
ninja. That
they wanted to
yeah,
keep
they just
everything
put the
away.
toys
It's
together
really-
and we're like,
I am.
all right.
I'll tell you what. Real quick story, because then I do want to keep us on the rails
Yes.
here, even though we've gone way off the rails. A little
Yeah.
bit. Well, I mean,
Welcome
sort
to
of,
nerd
kind of, but
culture.
not really, because it's still Power Rangers related. So I guess we're still kind of on the rails, but even so. Listen, real quick. I was so lucky to find an independent toy seller. It was him and his wife. It was on Facebook. There are these Facebook groups for toy buyers, toy collectibles, all that kind of stuff. So he was selling the Legacy Thunder Zord, the Legacy Ninja Megazord, and the Falcon Zord. And I said, well, I don't have a Legacy Ninja Megazord. I want one, please. So I said, how much do you want for the Ninja Megazord? He gives me a number, and I said, well, how much if you add that in the what is it called, the Falcon Zord? Excuse me. And he says, if you do this, it'll be this X amount of money. I said, sold. I'll take it, and I got it, and I was able to put it together. It was great. Anyway, enough about me. So here's the deal. If you were just joining us and wondering what the heck are these four knuckleheads talking about, we were talking about toys, collectibles that are centered around the Power Rangers universe, but we are here to celebrate the memory and the legacy that Jason David Frank left us. Do not get me wrong. If you were just joining us, make sure you like and share this video with all of your closest friends. Do want to take a moment to say thank you once again to Petruccio/Rocky for being with us from Other Side of Chaos earlier. Willow joined us fashionably late because she was putting her Beth Pink Ranger getup on.
And getting a dragon dagger.
And Kearns is complaining time and again. He's like, Ryan, you have everything, and I have nothing, you know. But I do want
I
to
had
acknowledge
stuff.
I
just
do want
not
to
as much as I
acknowledge
would
the
like.
individuals who are in the chat who are joining us. I want to say hello to Christian. Christian is here. He says the best Power Ranger that ever lived with Jason David Frank's character. Robert Craig joins us. He says my memories of watching him thank you for playing the noises.
Sorry.
At the Green Ranger as well as the White Ranger when I was a kid because it's what Jason, what made me fall in love with him I think he's trying to say what made me fall in love with martial arts as I've studied it. Most of the martial arts that he and his family tell me that Tommy Oliver, that we got during the course of the show. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And then let's see here. Vanessa chimes in. She says, hello, everyone. Vanessa, good to see you. Hope things are well for you in your neck of the woods. And she does say R.I.P. to the one and only Jason David Frank. So thank you very much for sharing those thoughts with us. If you have any memories, any stories of meeting him, some of your favorite episodes featuring his character, Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. I will bring them up as long as Willow stops playing her silly 93-year-old looking dragon dagger that barely makes the right amount of sounds.
Now,
a
if Ryan
It
had
doesn't, it
one,
doesn't
he'd
even
be
sound
completely
like
different. Like,
it doesn't even sound like the actual dragon flute. But that's
It is a little off. Yes, I will agree with you.
Even Bandai's stuff did not have the same sound.
Yeah, let's be
so-
perfectly honest. Bandai wasn't always batting 1,000 back in the
No.
day. I mean, look at the
No.
Saba sword and look how small that was. And yes, I remember having the original Saba sword. It was the little stick thing.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah,
let's
the,
get
ori-
on-
the original one was probably
Half the size of
from
the
where
new one.
my fingers are.
Yeah, it was half the size of the new one.
Yeah.
Although
And-
sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Well, I was gonna say, and it did have like a little fold out or pull out blade, but it was just
Yeah, it
like,
did. I had it.
you know.
It was. I loved it as a kid, but when you look at it now, it's like, dude, this is lame. This is why the legacy
Well, I
items
mean,
are better.
compared to what we're getting out now, it's like,
Oh, dude, the
Yeah.
legacy items.
oh yeah,
Some of the newer stuff is incredible. Anyway, that's enough about that.
Well, in the '90s, for costume stuff, for dressing up as the Yellow Ranger,
Oh,
I had a pair of gloves that actually made the whipping noises. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've seen
Oh,
commercials for those. Yeah,
yeah.
they
do
make
you
the
remember
punching noises. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez,
But I mean, it also does fit in with this, Ryan, because
it does.
out of a lot of franchises that I love,
It was a billion-dollar toy industry.
Jason was
Yeah.
such the people ambassador for Power Rangers
Mhm.
that
He was.
just kept that love for Power Rangers going on for so long.
Very true.
And I mean, you know, we're not going to have anyone else like him. And
No.
I mean, that's what kept my love going for it so
Mhm.
much, is just seeing
Mhm.
his appreciation for how much joy he brought to people's lives, seeing that and seeing, you know, people bringing their kids and like, I introduced him to Power Rangers because of you, and just, you know, it's amazing.
Well, and it's funny. Well, not funny, but it's great that you say that, because guess what? I'm going to turn things over to Tim. So, Tim, the question that we're trying to answer, even though Kearns keeps complaining about the fact that he doesn't have as many toys as we do, what are some of your favorite moments or memories featuring Jason David Frank? Tim, you have the floor.
Oh God, I loved Power Rangers ever since I was a kid. I've always wanted to meet any of them, but just around my area, there's just never
Mhm.
anything really going on. Especially I work all the time, so I don't have time.
Mhm.
But I remember as a kid, and just even thinking about it today, running home every day just to watch the next episode, and especially once the Green with Evil mini saga, if you want to call it that, started. Just seeing that new edition, like, oh, okay, we're adding someone else. It was amazing seeing it as a kid, like just seeing. For me, it was amazing. I've always loved the Green Ranger, loved the White Ranger. Didn't love Turbo so much, but a lot of people don't. But
Mm.
you know, for
The
every
Turbo
time,
movie just turned 25 this year, ironically enough.
Yeah.
God, do I feel old? But
I know, dude, we're all
Same
so.
year
I
I
mean,
was,
Kearns is a baby compared to
born.
everyone else in the studio tonight. So Kearns is like 12. The rest of us are like 30 something going
yeah,
on Dark Side
we're
40.
almost.
I
90,
am as
but-
old as Turbo. Or actually,
but,
depending on when Turbo came out, Turbo might be older than me.
Ugh.
yeah,
I
Turbo
feel like
Power
I'm
Rangers
like
movie
the
turned
odd one
25 this
out
year.
that actually enjoyed Turbo.
I liked the.
Well, here's the thing.
there's
I
some
will
good
defend
things about
Turbo for
Turbo I
this,
can talk
because
about.
There
Turbo
are.
passed the torch onto a new group of teenagers with attitude. It did give us a new cast, so
It
Turbo
gave us
wasn't
my
a
Power
complete-
Rangers
I think they
crush
did it
going
way
up,
too
which
fast.
was the new
but-
Yellow Ranger.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, Turbo
Yeah.
wasn't a complete loss. It's just the first half of the
Yeah.
season was ugh. But that listen,
Yeah,
by
We
the
can
way,
all
I know
agree
the actors
Justin
are
was a
watching
bad
this. I know
decision,
the
though.
actors are watching this. Let me tell you,
yeah.
it has nothing to do with what you did. It has everything to
No.
do with the writing, producing, and directing of
Yeah.
the first half of Turbo.
Well,
that
the
went-
other problem was they
down
were
the toilet.
adapting a spoof Sentai, like
Yeah,
that
it was a-
series
it was a
that was
spoof
made as a
on Super
spoof,
there were
Sentai.
and
there were
trying to
creative
take a
differences
spoof
going on. So
and
yeah,
make
there was a
it
lot
serious.
of bad
So,
stuff
you know,
going on.
I do remember, because I kept watching it all the way up until RPM for like every
Ooh, wow,
Saturday when
that
it would
goes all the
come
way back
on.
to 2009.
Yeah, but I mean, like every like waking up for it and then
Oh,
I
sure, yeah.
stopped and just waited for the dumps to come on like Netflix and stuff. But I remember
Mhm.
Dino Thunder, seeing Tommy back. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
holy, this is great.
10 years later.
Just getting that like nostalgia feel and seeing him as the mentor instead of like the new ultra badass coming onto the team, seeing him as the mentor. It was great. It was good seeing that for the continuation of that character, and Jason David Frank was the perfect role for Tommy.
Yeah, and granted, I'll share more of this as we go on. But yeah, in Dino Thunder, you get the 500th episode of the series overall called Legacy of Power when they went over the entire series from beginning to where they ended up in Dino. I'm like, geez, that's a lot of history. But it's worth watching because it brings back all that nostalgia. It's like, I was there.
But
those moments
it's
happen.
weird seeing it as an adult, because you're seeing it as an adult going, did they set up cameras at all the communication centers? Like, did he take all that?
Yeah, did he get all the
Like,
surveillance footage from somebody
like-
and he just like pieced them together?
like, what the hell?
Maybe
But-
Alpha 5 gave him some tapes. I don't know.
yeah.
Who knows?
I mean,
right?
it's that adult brain kicking in after so long, you know. But
Yeah, it's called Power Rangers logic. Christian
Yeah.
Ingram could talk more on that if he's able to join us tonight. By the way, Christian, if you're watching this and your situation is fixed at your studio, feel free to jump on and we'll bring you on momentarily. But
yes, there is some logic I would like to talk with him about.
exactly, because it's called Power Rangers logic. That's cool, man. So anything else stand out to you about Jason David Frank before I turn things over to our next panelist?
I mean, that's really it for me.
Cool.
Like I said, I've loved Power Rangers since I was a kid. The addition of the Green Ranger, of that new extra story of seeing the team develop after that, for all the way up until his Half Turbo, when him and all the others left. But I mean, you saw that story just laid out through 3 seasons, 1 season of Zeo, and then a movie and half a season of Turbo. So yeah.
No, I gotcha. All good. I want to acknowledge the individuals who have chimed in the chat thus far. Also, Vanessa says, let's see here. I remember seeing his appearance in Megaforce for the 20th anniversary season that went to. Look, despite what you may think about Megaforce, that last like 10 minutes when all those legendary Rangers show up, that was pretty darn cool. Even though you may not have liked the season overall, which I get.
Yeah, that was the only darn cool part of the season.
No, I hear you. I'm just saying, like, that 20th anniversary, could they have done more? Obviously. But what we got out of it was pretty, in my opinion, I thought it was special. But anyway.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Lightning 1234556. Boy, that's a username if I ever heard one. They say, man, I've been crying since he passed away. I'm right there with you all. Okay, well, appreciate you sharing that with us. Also, Vanessa says my favorite moment of him was when he was battling Zeltrax.
Oh yeah. Or when he kicked the dinosaur right in the face. I love that.
Yeah, that always works when you look at a dinosaur, right? Because it worked out so well for Tim and who's Lexa, whatever her name is in Jurassic Park. Anyway.
Oh, I mean, hell, if Tommy was there, he would just roundhouse kick the damn thing in the face and end the story. That's it.
Yeah. And by the way, Vanessa, I'm not sure if I've seen some of JDF's vlogs. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm not sure. Oh, Lightning says I've been watching them on the JDFFN channel since his unfortunate death. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because he has done a lot of videos, and he did his My Morphin Life on his YouTube channel for JDFFN. What is it? JDFFN YouTube channel. So feel free to look that up. Look at some of his past things. Vanessa has a question for us, but I will get to that momentarily. No, actually, you know what? We have some questions coming in, so let's go with this. Vanessa says, "What color suit did he look best in?" Okay, so for me, White Ranger all the way. Kearns, what do you think?
We're just talking suit, like we're just talking.
Yeah, of all the suits that he's worn in his Power Rangers career, what is your favorite suit featuring Tommy Oliver's character?
I probably have to go White Ranger as well. I think.
All right, I'm not the only Tiger Sword fan on this panel. All right, I dig it. It's all good. What about you, Tim? Favorite colored suit? What do you think? Everything he's worn. What do you think?
You know what? As much as I love the Green Ranger, the original, I'm going to go with Dino Thunder Black.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's handy.
I can dig it. That was a cool looking. It had its moments. It was a cool looking suit. Oh,
yeah.
Wait a minute. I'll get to that in a second. Let's see. Well, where was I going with that? Tim, you said Black Dino Thunder. Willow, what was your favorite suit that he was in? I'm sorry.
I will have to go with the original.
The green.
There's just something about the Green Ranger that Yeah, I don't know. I preferred him as the Green Ranger.
See, I
Okay.
prefer him as the Red Zeo Ranger, but I don't
Hmm.
think that suit is as good as the white or green one, even though it's a great suit.
Yeah. Zio had a cool theme song. By the way, I believe another panelist has joined us, but apparently he took a commercial break and now he wants to come back all of a sudden. Now I'm curious. Rocky, are you okay?
Oh
Hold
yeah,
on, man.
100%. Like I had my emotional breakdown and had a little bit of a break,
Okay.
and now I'm back.
Okay, does that mean I mean, did you want to stick around for more? I
Oh,
mean, like I
oh
said, if
heck
you have
yeah.
some stuff to take care of or you have to be
Oh
somewhere
no,
with some friends and family members, you're more than welcome to take off if you have to.
it's already been taken care of.
Okay, so you're good.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so you're good to stick around for a little bit longer?
yes sir.
All right, I'm just checking to make sure because I all of a sudden you appeared and I'm like, I thought he thought he took off. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, now that that has been taken care of, I want to address something with you here, Rocky, because Vanessa is in the chat and she had a question a moment ago. And I just want to bring this up for you since you were taking a commercial break. What colored suit did Tommy look the best in your opinion?
So, in my opinion, I think it was the introduction of the Green Ranger because when he had that golden shield or
Yes.
pad on top of the costume that he had,
Yeah.
it was a game changer because we had never seen anything like that. And even though when the White Ranger made his introduction and he had the same thing, uh, for me it's the original, and I will always say that Tommy Oliver as the Green Ranger was the best.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering Vanessa's question that she brought up to all the panelists here in the studio. Appreciate that, Vanessa. Thank you for being with us. Diane, to answer your question, though, his vlogs are viewable on his JDFFN. Is it JDFFFN? There's a lot of F's in this thing. YouTube channel. Look it up. It's there. Feel free to look at those. There's so much things going on in the studio. I'm having a hard time keeping track. But even so, Lightning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 says my favorite part was the 5-parter, the miniseries Green with Evil. That was their favorite part of the Jason David Frank's character. Wonderful stuff. Lightning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 also says Green Ranger suit is my favorite. Diane Cook from North Kakalaki. What's up, Diane? Good to see you, superstar. She says I like the green suit. Once again, it goes back to Dragon Sword. It's always the Dragon Sword. Always the Dragon Sword, but it's fine. It happens. What was I saying here? I'm sorry. Vanessa says he looked amazing in the white suit as the White Ranger, aka the Tiger Zord thing, which came after the green one, just so we're clear. Vanessa also says my favorite Zord was the White Tiger Zord during the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger era. Great, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. If anyone else has any thoughts, memories, or favorite things featuring the character of Tommy Oliver, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video with all of your closest friends. We are celebrating the memory of Jason David Frank. We just heard from Tim. Thank you for sharing your memories of Jason David Frank with us. Appreciate it. No doubt about it. I'm going to turn things over to the person who keeps complaining that he doesn't have enough toys in his toy collection. Maybe we should make a movie called Toy Story: The Search for Kearns' Power Ranger Destiny.
No, I have a lot of toys, just not a lot of Power Ranger toys.
It's okay. You got to remedy that for the holiday season. We'll tell Santa Claus
True.
to drop some down your chimney tonight. You know what? He's going to drop all those action figures and collectibles down your chimney, and you're going to have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby danced with Danny flipping K. You're goofy. Don't piss me off, Art. That was a Christmas Vacation reference, Kearns. So Kearns, yeah, you need to watch that movie more. So Kearns, the question on the table: favorite memories or moments featuring Jason David Frank. Kearns, what do you got?
So I'll tell my meeting him story, and then I'll tell more of my Power Ranger story. So in 2018, I went to San Diego Comic-Con. It was really cool. And it was the second day I was there, I believe. And me and my brother were just walking around, and I saw the line for JDF, and it wasn't like super, super long. And so I got on it, and I was the last one online, and the guy in front of me was being kind of like really difficult with like paying for stuff and getting like multiple autographs and wanting to get a picture and like all this stuff. And Jason had a panel that he was going to. And you know, this guy was just being really difficult, but even though he had a panel to go to, Jason still saw me there and took the time to speak with me. And I was so like nervous, like, you know, like we're going to talk about throughout this. Like, this guy was like a hero in like all of our childhoods. And I'm just like, dude, you're like the Ultimate Ranger. You could make a Power Ranger team with just you in it and all this. And he was just really cool. And he, because of the difficulty and because he was running, he actually gifted me and my brother free autographs on this White Ranger. So I have that. I don't have it framed yet. I will be getting it framed to add to my my autograph wall when I start to put that together. But yeah, Jason was just a really great guy, and I know a lot of people just have great stories of meeting him. I feel lucky now that I was able to meet him. And yeah, he was just a great dude. But my Power Ranger story and my Tommy story, I grew up in the tail end of the Saban era and the beginning of the Disney. So Time Force was the series I got into. But the great thing about the Disney era was that ABC Family started running all previous seasons of Power Rangers every day, morning, afternoon, weekends. And so I got to see like all Power Rangers. And then when Wild Force came out, I got to see one of my favorite episodes, Forever Red, in which Tommy came back. Obviously, by that point, I already knew who Tommy was because he's in so many Power Ranger seasons that when ABC Family is running them. I remember the lead up to Dino Thunder when they did the marathon on ABC Family of that Jason David Frank hosted, where it was all episodes of Mighty Morphin and Zeo. Like some of his best moments, and then Dino Force. I that was the last Power Ranger series I watched in full because I didn't finish SPD for reasons I don't need to get into on here. Nothing to do with the show, actually. But you know, and that show, like Tim was saying, it was so cool that like he's introduced at first as being like the mentor, but then he gets to become a Ranger as well, and that's one of the great moments when I forget her name, but so the henchwoman of that series is like, "Aren't you a little old for this, Tommy?" He's like, "I may be old, but I still got it."
Damn right.
But I can still pull it off.
I also loved. And then at the end of that episode, I love when he's in the coffee house with everybody. And he's just like, I need to go shopping. I have a serious lack of black in my wardrobe. Because I like how they reference that the Rangers just so happen to dress in the color of what they are. Because, you know, superheroes don't need to hide their identities.
It's called Power Rangers logic.
I mean, even you remember the episode when he came back in Mighty Morphin to rescue the teen's parents and all the even the parents are all
that's one of the best things. They all wear
wasn't he wearing like white or green a second ago?
Man. But
like, that doesn't make sense. Never mind.
But Tommy's always been. I will be honest. I'm a. This is weird when you talk about Jason Frank. I'm a Jason, like Jason, the original Red Ranger is my favorite Ranger, but Tommy's always been my number 2. And you know, Tommy's great. I mean, there's so many great moments with him, like when he fights Lord Zed to save Kimberly, you know, or in Zeo when when he goes out to find the new Gold Ranger, who is Jason, and that's a great moment. We're talking about the White Ranger, his intro where he comes down like from the heavens, and then he reveals that that Tommy's back.
He's back.
And then
Richie.
And then in Forever Red, he's awesome throughout that entire thing. I love how he's kind of like the leader of like all the Red Rangers. Like even though there are all these Red Rangers, and then that great moment at the end when Cole is like, "There goes the greatest Tommy. Red Ranger." And then all of them try to be like, like I love Jason when he's like, "What are you talking about?" Well, he was hitting on Kimberly at the juice bar.
I was the one doing all the work. Well, he was at the juice bar kissing on Kimberly.
Yeah. So many. I mean, we'll get through it. There's so many great Tommy episodes and moments throughout his run on the series.
No, seriously, I agree with you. That whole situation with Forever Red at the very end, everyone's knocking him because it's like, dude, look what we did in our seasons that Tommy couldn't.
Yeah,
do.
Wes is like, I changed the future. What are you talking about?
Wes is like, I changed history. So how come he has a fan club and I don't? Hey, I saved 2 worlds.
He's just walking around and just patting one head like, good job, guys. But yeah.
Yeah, he just walks off and all the other 8 Rangers are just sitting there like, yeah, he's too good to be with us. And then, what is it? Eric Myers, played by Dan Southworth in Time Force, he says, "Yeah, my Q-Rex would eat his Dragon Zord for lunch." Yeah.
It's
So, yeah, I love it.
That
Yes,
wouldn't
Rocky, do you have
happen,
something
but
to add to
sure.
this discussion after you've been dropping in and out?
Yeah, so like I'm gonna deal.
Once again, you drop out as you're about to make your statement. So it's like, you know what? Technical issues abound. Oh, there he is. Now you're back.
Yeah. So the one thing that I want to ask you guys, like besides
Yeah.
the Green Ranger, does anyone
Yes.
else have a favorite Power Ranger besides Tommy?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Kern's kind of alluded to it. My favorite Ranger was Jason, OG
Yeah,
Red,
Jason.
baby. Austin St. John. That guy's a beast. And yes, he's one of the most nice and humble people in person. I've met him several times.
I met him at that same Comic-Con that I met Jason David Frank at.
What about you, Tim? Who is your favorite besides Tommy Oliver?
Oh, wait.
After
yeah.
watching all the seasons, I
Yeah.
mean, my second favorite once when Matt brought up Eric was probably Eric as the Quantum Ranger.
Time
and-
Force.
Good choice.
Yeah, I mean, I love that Ranger. It was like, oh, that would be like an ultimate, like, who would win? You know, Tommy with whatever color Ranger he wants to bring to the fight, or Eric, like, who would win? You know.
So, Tim, did you hear the original ending for his character in Time Force? He
What,
was
for
originally
Eric?
supposed to die when he took the
Yeah, he
shot
was
for
gonna die
Wes.
like a Sentai.
And they shot the ending without him, and then they changed their mind, and they had to reshoot
Mhm.
the whole end scene to have Eric there.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad they didn't kill him off, because then we get the great
we get that
reinforcements
touching
from the
moment
future.
with him and Taylor kind of
Yeah, and while
flirt-
Kind of
Yeah,
flirting
it's
with
great.
each
Yeah.
other. Yeah, they kind of hinted
Yeah.
that they were kind of digging each other. But they,
that's a
obviously,
great two-parter. That's a great
Oh,
yeah.
two-parter.
I believe it was. Hold on a second. That was in Wild Force. It was called Reinforcements from the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Mhm.
That was a two-parter.
that's probably my favorite. My
Is that your
second
favorite team up episode?
My second favorite. My favorite is still To the 10th Power. I still love that.
Oh,
That's
to the
a-
10th
yeah.
power.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
But Reinforcements from the Future, that's my
See,
second
Reinforcements for the
hands down
Future is
favorite.
probably my favorite, because Time Force is my favorite season. So,
Mhm.
This
getting
is
them
why
all
Kearns and I
back.
are best friends.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, if you're wondering what Ryan's favorite season of all time is, it is Time Force, without a shadow of a doubt. It is the pitch perfect.
It's one of the best acted. Like, if
It's
you
a
watch the
se- like,
first
it's a se-
episode, when
But here's the
Jen
thing,
sees Wes and
but here's
thinks
the
that
thing.
it's Alex, she just starts. I'm like, we've never seen this in Power Rangers.
I'm
before.
not
What is
going to
this?
say it is very well
Also,
written, well produced.
great
Vernon
acting.
Wells from Road Warrior is the villain that season.
Which, by the way, and he's also let off some steam, Bennett. I didn't even know
yeah,
he was
he's
Bennett. I didn't know he was Bennett. It's crazy.
Really?
I didn't
Yeah.
know he was that. Yeah, in the movie
Jeez.
Commando, which features Arnold Schwarzenegger, for those of you keeping score at home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
Time
was
Force is my
Bennett,
favorite season.
and then he
It's
was
my
in the
favorite
Power
cast.
Rangers. It's so incredible. It's so wonderful. I should have been in the Power Rangers. It's like a
Arnold
time.
comes in as the new Quantum Ranger.
Where's
Ah.
what's his face? Where's Christian Harloff when you need him for these things? What's up,
I'm
Christian
right here.
Harloff? Good
I
to
feel
see
like
you.
my
If you're
impression
watching
is
this,
on
Christian,
par
I
with
hope you're
Christian's.
enjoying Kearns' impression of you doing Schwarzenegger, or his impression of Schwarzenegger, whatever. You can compare
I'm the
notes.
guy
Christian.
pretended to be the guy. Pretended to be the guy.
Hey, you know what, Willow? I want you to remember this face here. This is the guy behind the guy behind the guy. Anyway, Willow can't stop laughing.
Did anyone get the reference that I made with that?
Was that Tropic Thunder?
Yeah,
Rock?
Tropic
Yeah, it was.
Thunder.
Yeah, it
I'm the
was.
man, pretend to be the guy. Pretend to be the guy. I'll never
I'm
turn
the
it off.
dude
Now
playing
till
the
DVD
dude
come through.
disguised as another dude. Anyway,
watch
Willow,
that
enough
now.
about that. Kearns, you're killing me.
Sorry.
You're absolutely killing me. Some people have chimed in the chat in regards to the question that Rocky, who keeps disappearing in and out of the morphing grid, like the viewing globe, is on short circuit. I don't know what's going
No,
on in his
he's like
studio.
the Green Ranger's powers in the
like
season
the green
2
candle.
opener when his powers start fading
So
in
he's
and
going
out.
to come down in a white light and be
No,
good
that's
here in
later
a
on,
second
because
then.
remember,
that's
Tommy
later.
loses his powers, and then
Wait.
he's gone for a bit, and then he comes back as the White Ranger. So
I'm
Rocky
sorry.
will be back as the White Ranger at some point.
I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, listen, that's neither here nor there. Let's see here. More people have chimed in. I want to make sure we, let's see. I'm going all the way back here. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Top five.
a lot
Okay,
of them
Derpy
too.
Derpy 501st has his top 5 favorite seasons. They say Mighty Morphin is number 1, Time Force is number 2, Dino Thunder coming in at number 3, Power Rangers in Space at number 4, and Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue at number 5. That is not a bad
Lightspeed
list.
is such an
That's-
underrated season.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah.
And Carter Grayson as a Red Ranger does not get the love he should.
Which he was the
When-
Nick
when
Fury
you
in
run up to
Forever
a
Red. He
giant
was Nick
monster
Fury.
with a
And just punching in the face.
Well,
I love
mean,
it.
hell, the first episode. What does he do? All the Rangers
Lightning-
their asses
light-
kicked, and he tries to run over the monster.
With the car, yeah. I also
This
like
is-
that Lightspeed is the first season to where the Rangers just default to their guns, which is like, yeah, why would you use more shorts on a
when I
monster?
saw
Just
him
shoot him.
try to run over the monster, I'm like, why has no one else tried to do this? Like, what? Kimberly had a car. I mean, why not?
That had another great crossover with the Galaxy Rangers. That was another good
Mhm.
Yes,
crossover
Willow?
episode.
I was just gonna say, like I don't think in the first season they used their weapons enough on the monsters.
Yeah, like you'd think
Well,
you're like,
once again,
listen-
this is behind the scenes, and most fans know this by now. A lot of the first season, if not the second season, were using Japanese Super
Yeah.
Sentai footage before they started shooting their own footage in Valencia, I think it was, California, where they were shooting originally. I can't remember.
Vasquez
Yep.
rocks. I thought.
I think, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It was the Rocks. It was
Yeah.
Valencia. It was
Mm.
LA. It was all.
Yeah, they in California they shot a lot.
It was in
for the
California in the
early
freaking
three
desert
seasons.
somewhere.
and that
Like,
was
it
where
was-
Lord
It was
Zed came
Vasquez
from.
Rocks because that's where
Vasquez
the command
Rocks,
center
thank you, Tim.
stand-up is. Yeah, because that's where Kirk fought the lizard.
I
Yeah.
was trying to think of where the Rocks were, but then again, I couldn't remember.
How
But
is
anyway,
no one? I don't think I've ever seen on YouTube anyone try to cross that over, like have Kirk fighting the Gorn, and then have the Rangers be like, "What's going on out there?
what's going on back here? What's Captain Kirk
Does
doing
it have
this
the like
weird-
open door? Like
What is that?"
what the?
Who's coming out of the?
Well, because
woodwork?
it's space, so just take
Alfred,
just
Alfred,
take
you gotta see
Hey,
this shit.
you do
just
realize
take in
that they
space.
caught-
So have Andros just like open the Astro Mega ship and be like, "Hey, you okay down there, dude?"
Yeah, but you do realize, and this is a fun fact before I acknowledge, because more people are chiming in the chat. I want to give the people in the comments a moment here. But real quick, did you guys know that technically Power Rangers and Star Wars are connected? Because TJ says in Power Rangers in Space, yeah, we're looking for Zordon. We may have found him. There's a clue right out there in the Dagobah system.
Even Yoda didn't know where he was.
Jordan, lost it. Yes, yes.
God.
Now, must eat.
Okay, who was the Luke Skywalker during that?
Well, if
Uh,
it's in space, I would
It
say
definitely
Andros.
wasn't Ecliptor.
Andros would probably be the Luke,
Because he's the one who can move stuff.
and he's got to make the sacrifice at the end as
Yeah,
well.
but he has
So
telekinesis
was
kind of
Han the
thing.
Han Solo then?
No, because Han Solo. Well, Han Solo shot first, so technically Andros would shoot first, right? I don't
Yeah.
know. Does anyone know
No,
the answer to
Carter
that? Let us know.
Grayson.
in the
Okay,
chat.
wait. Let's just go Spaceballs and just say he's the Lone Star because that's Luke and Han combined. So Andros is the Lone Star.
I hate it when I get my Schwartz twisted. Anyway, all right, let's not talk about that, Will. Let's see. More people have chimed in. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge, and let's see here. Gosh. Lightning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My favorite seasons are the following: MMPR, Zeo, Dino Thunder, as well as In Space and Lost Galaxy. Wow, you pretty much went in order there for a minute. But that's cool. I dig it. Let's see. Vanessa, is it Vanessa? She says, I liked his helmet in Zeo because it had a star all over it.
Mm.
Yep.
That is a valid point. Diane Cook has a question for moi, but I'll answer it real quick because, like I said, I want to take a moment to acknowledge everyone else here. Let's see. Diane says, Ryan, what types of Power Ranger? By the way, they're action figures. They're not toys or
Diane,
collectibles.
just scroll back like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, please. Do you wish you had or desire to own? Well, for me personally, I would have liked to have had the Turbo Morpher, the Lightspeed Rescue Morpher, Lightspeed Rescue, Lost Galaxy,
Turbo
the Quantum Morpher. I would have liked to have had that.
I had that toy when
Tommy's,
I was a kid. The one with the where you
Morpher
control the
from Dino
Megazord.
Thunder. I want to
Mhm.
have because I like how it's a reference to
good
the
one.
Turbo because it needs the key. I like this sort of
I would,
reference.
I would have liked to have had the Turbo
Morphers.
Megazord.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have had that.
Give
I like that
Hasbro some
Megazord
time,
a
they'll
lot.
get to it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I read your work. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, thanks. Can I have a grant? Anyway, that's an '89 Batman movie.
Oh, and Alfred, give Knox a grant.
Grant. Exactly. Nice talking with you, Wayne. You know why they're so odd? Because they can afford to be, just like Willow is. She
Look
can
at
afford
this
to be odd.
mirror. Should be Bruce Vain.
Vain. Anyway, let's see here. Lightning says Zeo was fun because it expanded the PR universe for the very first time, and I
Yeah.
agree with you 100%. Lightning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And
I
talking
kind
about
of think for the second time because if you want to count the Alien Saga as like
Not
a
really.
mini arc,
Alien
but
Rangers
it
for me
did
doesn't
expand
really
it because
count.
that was the first off-world
True.
Rangers we got.
It was, but for me, that miniseries was just not very good.
Also-
I'm sorry. No
Talking
offense
about-
to the actors and actresses who participated in that, but the Alien Rangers thing was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I didn't
and
like it.
talking about Zeo and Jason David Frank, that was also
Yeah.
the season when his brother
Oh, yeah.
made an appearance on the show.
What was his brother's name? Eric? Was his brother's name
I
Eric? Does
right.
anyone remember
I
his
believe
name?
so.
Can someone
Yeah,
look that
it
up
was
for me in the
Eric.
backstage?
But
area?
yeah,
Can we
you
look up
know,
his-
so it's nice now that
both
you know,
him and his brother are together.
him and his brother are sort of
Yeah.
because of Power Rangers, they're both just
Yeah.
sort of immortalized because Jason talked a lot about how before
Yeah.
obviously he was on Power Rangers, they used
Mhm.
to they opened a lot of dojos together across
yeah.
the country.
Mhm.
So
That's a
his
fair
brother
point.
was one of the people who everyone thought was going to be the Gold Ranger.
I literally thought that's who it was.
Yeah,
But then
people
we
were
got
speculating
Jason,
that.
which
Speculating.
I
the
know,
best
but
decision.
I mean,
It would have been interesting if it was.
Yeah, no, it would have. Yeah, it would
You
have
would have
been
had a family
interesting.
thing on the show, not just in the
Mhm.
fictional sense, but also in
Yeah.
real life. Because they're literal
Yeah.
brothers.
because
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
usually whenever they're like, "Hey, I'm a Power Ranger," that person that knows usually either becomes a Power Ranger or helps them.
Yeah, when you share your
Something.
secret, even though Zordon says, "Third, no one may know you are a Power Ranger." Oh, wait a second. Yes, Zachary. What is it? Anyway, I can repeat Day of the Dumpster all day long.
No one may
So-
know you're a Power Ranger. If they do, Alpha 5's gonna have to get rid of some people.
What do you think this is? The Mafia? Get out of here. Anyway, listen, Jason or
Ay,
Lightning.
ay, ay, Zordon.
Get off my lawn, Kern.
Yeah, let
Lightning
me
1, 2, 3, 4,
unplug
5,
my
6.
vacuum cleaner.
Let's rein this in for a minute here, Kern. So Lightning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 says his favorite character is Jason, portrayed by Austin St. John. Thank you for sharing that with us. Diane says Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger, is my favorite. There you go, Diane.
Willow
No
is currently cosplaying as her.
Ryan, I think as us being kids watching it, I think that's probably one of our earliest crushes was
Oh, for
Amy
sure.
Jo Johnson. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Mhm.
And and she's probably been told that several times at conventions where
Oh,
Amy Jo
yeah.
Johnson is. Let's see here. Derpy501 says my second favorite Ranger of all time was actually Jen, played by Aaron Cahill. Brilliantly, I might add. in Power Rangers
Badass.
Time
Yeah.
Force. And I've had the pleasure, the honor of hanging out, spending and talking with Aaron Cahill, Jason. The entire cast of Time Force are some of the nicest individuals on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
And Aaron Cahill, as soon as she sees you in her line, as soon as it's your time to say, hey, I want you to da, she will come out from behind her booth and give you the biggest hug ever. She is so respectful and so kind and generous to her fans. And Aaron, you're wonderful. Stay that way.
There's an argument to be made for that season that Jen is the real leader of the team, not Wes.
That's
There's
true.
a
lot of
real
people have
argument.
that. Derpy501 says Time Force is the best season in his opinion. There you go. Let's see. Lightning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, these comments are coming in fast and furious. Time Force was actually nice, but it took me a while to get into the story. Okay. He still puts it in his top 5 though. Lightning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is just continuing with the comments. Says Lost Galaxy is insane as a Power Ranger straight up died in that one.
True.
Yes, but that's because the real
second
life
time.
the actress
Yeah.
the actress Valerie Vernon
Yeah.
was struggling with leukemia during the filming of that season. That's why.
And that was also that was a real, but also in that season that was second time because remember the original Red Ranger in that show passed away before he could even really become the Ranger very early on. Then he comes back as
Because the Magna Defender was hiding
Magna
him in
Defender,
his
yeah.
cavern down in the below. You know the crack.
Well, kind of like hijacked his body.
Yeah, he took possession. Well, for a
and
minute
then he
anyway.
gave it back and
Absorb. Logic.
It's called Power Rangers Logic, guys. Look it up on.
We
the
can
internet.
breathe on the
Christian,
moon
if you
and
ever
there's
get
no
in
gravity.
here, you would have more information on this than I would. Sean Still is with us. He says, "I just watched the first movie. I believe he's referring to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. Maybe I don't know."
Yeah, that was the first one.
Jason David Frank was always my favorite. I loved, excuse me. I loved his Zords, especially the White Tiger. Yes, more White Ranger fans. I'm loving this, chat. I'm loving it.
Thank you for
Lightning-
joining us, Sean, by the
Sorry.
way. I appreciate
Do
you
you know who
showing
Sean
up.
is?
Yep, he's an
Who's
old
Sean? Is he-
cosplay buddy.
Oh, he's one of your BFFs. Okay. Cool. By the way, Lightning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 says yes, it's Eric. Yes, well, Eric Myers was portrayed by Dan Southworth in Time Force. That's what we were referring to earlier. Now that we have gotten a chance to go through all those comments, and I'm loving them. If you have any memories featuring Jason David Frank or anything Power Rangers universe related, because Lord knows Tim and Kearns just love to take us off the rails. Feel free to put it in the chat, put it in the
you
comments.
brought us on, Ryan. You know what
True
you're gonna
that.
do.
Now I'm regretting it. So make sure you share this video with all of your closest friends. Share your memories about Jason David Frank. We are celebrating his life and celebrating his memories that he gave us. Whether it was on film or in the convention circuit, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments. Whether you're watching this live or on the replay, we want to take this opportunity to say thank you for being with us. Now, I'm going to turn things over to the one who was fashionably late to the party because she was getting her pink
He's not
Ranger
gonna let that
outfit
up on you,
on.
Willow. That's every time he intros you.
don't care. I
It's
don't care.
okay. This isn't the first time. It won't be the last time I'm late for his show.
No, it won't be. No, I'm sure it won't be.
Challenge
Listen, Willow, I'm gonna turn things over to you before Kearns tries to steal my thunder again. Willow, the question on the
Got no
table is,
thunder?
you're always doing it. Anyway, are there any? Don't mess with me, Kearns. I will take you off this stream. So, Willow, the question on everyone's mind is: do you have any favorite memories or moments featuring J.C. David Frank, whether he was, on screen or off? What do you got?
Honestly, I kind of tried to watch his career as I aged. I know he did a stint with the poker players, and I honestly think that he did a good job playing poker. But yeah, I know that was just for like, yeah, he did a stint with Celebrity Poker.
Oh, Celebrity Poker. Okay.
So
I was like, is this one of the scandals that ended up in the movie Molly's Game with Jessica Chastain a few years ago?
I really wish that his career would have allowed him to go further with, acting away from Power Rangers. That would have been awesome to see him in other movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he enjoyed himself too much on the Power Ranger circuit, so he stayed where he knew he was needed and wanted. Unfortunately, I never met the guy personally, but just hearing your guys' stories is very heartwarming.
It is interesting that I guess that just goes to show you that even the 90s was still that sort of thing to where you were either a TV actor or a movie actor, because it is really surprising that no movie studio was like, let's try to make this dude like our action movie like lead guy. I mean, he's like the star of like one of the biggest like kids action franchises,
and he knows like 6 different forms of karate.
Yeah, and he's a legit martial arts dude. It's really surprising that they weren't.
The guy
like,
runs martial arts.
Steven Seagal. Steven
Texas.
Seagal passed on this script. Let's give it to Jason David Frank.
I mean, after he got out of Power Rangers, it's that look, especially if you watched him in with his MMA career.
Yeah,
that look of just like
MMA.
an action star. It was like,
yeah,
you could do something with this.
I just have to say, you imagine. So you're a guy who's trained for MMA, and you go into your match, and you look over, and across from you in the cage is Tommy Oliver. I'd forfeit right then and there, because I'm like, this dude's about to morph on me. Like, what's going on?
I mean, he's covered from head to toe in tattoos.
Coming for me.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. And I agree with all of you. I wish we would have seen, and this is something that I wish for not just him, but all the actors who have taken part in the Power Rangers franchise. I wish them nothing but success moving forward, whether they did action movies, drama movies, comedies, romantic movies.
Amy Jo Johnson did create a nice career for herself.
Yeah, she did. I
mean,
I don't mean to say this as a negative, but it feels like a lot of the and listen, this is nothing against the actors. This is nothing against them. I just want to preface it by saying that. It feels like I wouldn't say it's a curse, but there's a bit of a typecasting thing that goes with that. So if they're in Power Rangers, they can't do anything. It's like, oh, they were on a kids show. They can't do it. Well, Amy Jo Johnson beat the curse, because look what she did. Felicity. She did Wildfire. She did, what was the sniper show? Flashpoint?
Yeah.
And this is, I think it's not so much it being a kid's show. I think it's very similar to like a Mark Hamill before he got into voice acting, which is like, you are part of this iconic franchise, and you just are that thing, and that thing is so big that unless you do something as big, even if you're like Mark Hamill did so many movies during and after Star Wars, but they weren't Star Wars that no one really remembers. It's not until he got into Batman, it's
when
like
he became the Joker. It's like, oh my God, we really got to stay.
If you look at like Austin St. John or Jason Vaughn or like any of these actors after Power Rangers, their IMDb has a bunch of stuff.
Jason Vaughn and Aaron Cahill did the Resident Evil video game.
But it's not as big as Power Rangers, so that's why people don't talk about it. Which is unfortunate, because like you said,
has a lot of those Lifetime movies too.
Yeah, like unfortunately, like you look at Jason Vaughn, like that dude, like at conventions and stuff. I'm surprised he's not like a rom-com star. Like he could totally do that stuff. Like I'm
look at Michael. I mean, this goes back to Time Force. Michael Copon, he did the Scorpion King too.
We don't talk about the Scorpion King unless it's The Rock.
Yeah. And even then, we only talk about that when he's in the
When he
Black.
was
Yeah,
in
I
the
know. I'm
movies
not, I'm, not, I'm not
franchise.
necessarily saying you have to talk about the sequels, but I'm just saying, like, Copan went on to do that.
Yeah,
He did One
no.
Tree Hill.
Yeah.
But-
Some other actors did. I mean, look at Erin Cahill. She did Boogeyman 3, which is a
What
horror
was that
film.
Bloodshot movie with Jason David Frank and Jason?
No, that
Statham,
was
wasn't
he
it?
did the series. He did the series. It was Vin Diesel who did the movie.
Okay.
Well, no.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Jason David Frank did portray Bloodshot in Bat and the Sun's Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe. That's what Jason
Okay.
David Frank
Yeah.
did. You're right, Tim. You're right. You're 100%
Yeah.
right. We don't talk about the Vin Diesel one. That never happened. But can't do anything outside of Fast and Furious. Sorry. Not really.
Iron Giant would disagree with
Yeah,
you.
but
Tooth
that's
Fairy.
like that.
The-
Like
that was Dwayne Johnson.
voiceovers. I mean,
No,
voiceovers.
Oh,
Pacifier.
Pacifier.
Pacifier. That's a fun movie as well.
Hey, Pacifier is actually funny. But anyway, enough about that. So, but yeah, it seems like it's been difficult for certain actors within the Power Ranger franchise to portray other characters in other ways. But listen,
Yeah.
if you want to do it, go for it. Go on as many auditions as it takes. I don't care because I've seen some of these other Power Rangers work as we've gone on throughout the course of our lives and careers. They've done some good stuff. I'm not going to lie. But even so, Willow, you shared some of your favorite, memories featuring the character or the Jason David Frank, Tommy Oliver, all that kind of jazz. Once again, thank you for sharing that with us. Do not get me wrong. More people have chimed in the chat. My gosh, this thing is going on like crazy. Let's see. Robert Dredden is here. He says, R.I.P. the Green Ranger. I'll be 40 in just a few weeks, so I remember exactly when Power Rangers first aired in 1993. There you go.
Yep.
Enough said. Diane Cook says Erin Cahill was also on How I Met Your Mother
Yeah.
Oh.
and
Yep.
Felicity, and she has been in a bunch of Hallmark movies. And
Hallmark,
Diane,
that's
yes,
what it was, yeah.
yes, Diane, I will admit it. One of the only reasons I watch Hallmark movies is if Erin Cahill is in them. Okay, I will admit it. I've done it. I watched her most recent one. Not as good as some of the other ones that she's done, but it's okay, Erin. We still love you. Let's see here. Lighting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 says, "OMG, yeah!" I remember Erin and How I Met Your Mother. I almost forgot about it.
Yeah, that's a
Interesting.
show I never watched in its entirety. I've seen episodes.
I didn't even
of
know
it.
I totally forgot that Erin Cahill was in it.
trivia, yeah, when I did the TV trivia stuff and I watched that whole
Yeah.
series, I was like, oh yeah.
And I
recognize
liked
that
it.
person, that person, that person.
It's just one of those shows that I think because I saw the final episode and I was like, yeah, I don't think I need to watch this whole thing.
You're like,
if I
yeah,
know
this
how
show
it
may
ends
not
like
have ended on the
this."
best of terms.
Also, Bob Saget's never in it, so what's the point?
R.I.P. to Bob Saget.
Yeah.
We've lost too many legends. Let's be perfectly honest.
I do want to ask a question to you guys to get back onto topic.
Yeah, I was about to share
anyone-
my stories, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally forgot. We've been going for so long. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'll ask my question after.
Dude,
you
we've
share
been
your
going for
story.
so long, man. I'm so dry. I need to go back home. I need to fall asleep, man. I need to find my Power Ranger toys.
I'm
Maybe
not-
play with some action figures.
I'm
now.
not
Oh my
drunk
God.
off of alcohol. I'm drunk off of the morphine grid, is what I am.
Yeah, that's what you're drunk off, son. We're gonna have to put you in the timeout area. So
I'm surprised they never made a drink with that, like a green drink called the morphine. Morphine drink.
Probably
And-
because he didn't own the rights to his character.
And probably Saban would not be like, yes, you can market our children's franchise with alcohol.
with an
Well, no,
alcoholic-
not alcohol. I mean, just like a soft drink or something.
Oh, you mean like Surge?
Yeah. something
Why
like that.
wasn't
that, by the way?
Surge Dragon Zord juice?
Does anyone remember that though?
What-
Surge or the
Oh,
Ecto
yeah,
Cooler?
that would've been
whatever
a
they
good
were called?
thing.
Ecto Cooler was
Yeah.
incredible, and they brought it back in 2016 only to take it away from us again.
Really? They didn't bring it back for when the movie Afterlife came out?
Yeah, which I'm surprised. I was waiting. I was like,
weird,
I'm
dude.
sure it's gonna come back, and then it didn't.
Do you think they'll
What
do
are
it
you
for the
doing,
sequel
Heisey?
though? Because they're making a
I don't
sequel to
think
Afterlife. In case
Oh,
you
they
didn't
are?
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
they
I really-
officially
yeah.
passed the
Talks
torch
about-
onto the kids, so now the kids are going to take on a
Hmm.
new era of ghosts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which, by the
And-
way, we're talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is a little indie film that came out not too long ago. If you haven't noticed,
Hmm.
it's a good movie. I actually just saw it for the first time like months ago.
Oh, I
was like,
love it.
dang.
I love that movie.
I thought it was a good
Great.
pass into the torch story. But anyway,
Paul
Diane
Rudd's
Cook
great in that
says,
movie.
"I have a can of Surge in my very own fridge, guys."
Yeah.
Like,
now
it's
I
still
want to
from the
see her
90s?
drink it.
Hey, Diane, do you want to come on here and actually drink the Surge on camera for Willow's sake? Let me know, and I'll send you the
Surge
link.
was
on,
after my
Facebook.
time. I
Would
never
that
had to
still
drink
be
it.
good right now?
Yeah,
No,
it
they
is
still
Willow's
make
bad.
Surge.
drinking.
Although
still
Brad
make Surge.
Jones, the cinema snob, owns a bunch of bottles of Crystal Pepsi, and
Really?
he drank one from the
Oh,
'90s,
God.
and it He was like,
Ugh.
it tastes really flat.
Wow.
Oh,
that
look
stuff
up
was so
Brad
bad when it came
Jones
out.
loves Crystal Pepsi. He has a giant 2-liter bottle that he's told his wife, if I die, you will bury me with this.
Yeah. I don't know where. I'm so sorry. I don't know where to
Crystal
go with
Pepsi.
that. Where we're going, we don't need roads because clearly
What
we've
do
been
we
off the
think
road
Tommy's
forever.
favorite soft drink was? There we go. I got back on topic for you, Ryan.
But you were just.
I think he liked Coca-Cola.
Don't know. Diane says, "Sure, I will come and drink it on camera, but you have to send me the link for." Okay, hold on a second. I'll tell you what. I gotta log into I'm not logging to Facebook, so hold on a second. What was I gonna say? Okay, so before I share my stories, talking about specifically Jason David Frank, Kearns, Tim, Willow, any other favorite Power Ranger moments that you want to share as I'm sending the link to Diane here? Any other moments stand out?
I was gonna ask you guys because one of my favorite things was I'm not sure if anyone else has read it, but the graphic novel Soul the Dragon. That comic was so. I remember when it came out and grabbing it, and it was so cool to see. It was the first time I really felt like we got like an adult Power Rangers story. And I love the whole thing about like this is Tommy's like final ride because he has the ultimate morpher, but he only has enough power to where every morph is his last one, which was awesome. And then he has his grown-up son in it. I liked how they had characters from SPD appear in it. And unfortunately for all this, I kept saying, I was like, man, I know he's doing Legend of the White Dragon, but I would love if they did like a live action movie of Soul the Dragon. That would have been so cool. That's also the comic that officially established that Tommy married Kat.
Yeah. Well,
where do we lie on that? Yeah, because we knew.
What was that season? No, that was Zeo, I think.
Zeo. Well, because remember in Zeo, that's when Kimberly Dear Johns him. And then he starts dating Kat.
Yeah.
You know what? At that point, it's a lost cause to want him to stick with Kimberly if she decided to break up with him. That's her loss, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I've always said this about that. I'm just like, okay, I get they were in high school and everything, but I'm like, it's different than like, oh, they had chemistry together. I'm like, and when I say chemistry, I meant the class. I was like, they were, I'm quoting Linkara as well with that. To where I'm like, you fought next to each other. He literally fought like the embodiment of like the devil in this universe to save you, and you don't even have the decency to call this man. You send him a letter.
Well,
what the hell, Kimberly? I hope that gymnastics thing didn't work out for you.
That was also the writers wanting to push a Kat and Tommy relationship too.
Yeah, which I think was a little dumb. I feel like they could have given that to
real quick though.
Or
if you're gonna read a comic, read Shattered Grid. I
haven't gone to read Shattered Grid yet. Dude, I haven't gone.
That was the best Power. It's one of the best Power Ranger storylines that never made.
Well, Ryan, I'll ask you since you were off air. Have you read Soul the Dragon?
No.
Soul the Dragon's awesome.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I've read of Power Rangers in the Boom comics, and we're talking about the new stuff, some of the newer stuff that's come out in the last 3 or 4 years. I've read Power Rangers: Sins of the Future, which is a Time Force centered story, which is a great one because it's Time Force.
I haven't read that one yet. I wanna.
I've read Shattered Grid. What else about and a few of the others? Oh, by the way, so someone brought up this individual. And they said that they are willing to drink something that may or may not have something to do with Power Rangers. So please welcome for the very first time in the history of Nerd Culture Studios, at least on this special presentation, celebrating the memory of Jason David Frank. Please welcome our good friend to North Carolina zone, Diane Cook is in the building. Hello, Diane.
Hello, Ryan. Hi, Matt. Hello. Thank you for asking me to join. So here's my can of Surge.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
Yes, I know. When you mentioned Surge, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I actually have some of that here in my house. So I went and pulled it out of the fridge, but it could be flat. Like Willow was saying, she knew somebody else that drank some and it was flat. But you guys ready for this? I'm about to
sure. We just hope your health is.
I heard it is.
We have the power to protect
you. That's all I'm going to say.
They still make it.
Yeah,
Ryan,
for it.
where's your
me too.
disclaimer to where it's like nerd culture is not responsible for anything
Oh,
that
yeah,
happens
sorry.
after
Yeah, you did a disclaimer.
drinking a
I don't have one.
20-year-old can of soda?
I don't have one.
I want to see how much caffeine is in this thing because I'm really curious. I guess I'm gonna have to drink this whole thing right now, right?
No,
So-
you don't.
Don't
You just take a
don't look
sip.
at the label. Trust me.
Yeah,
it's all-
Seriously,
it's
just
best
just
if
take
you
a
just-
sip for argument's
I'm
sake,
gonna
and then you
take a
can go for it.
Oh my gosh, I have not had this in years. And like the flavor, it's like the nostalgia of just like drinking this. Cause they used to actually have this at like McDonald's
Mhm.
and different places you could get it, like in the the fountain as a fountain drink.
That's a true story.
It's good though. And actually it's not flat. It's got carbonation in it. So
Oh,
yeah.
But they still make it. So I
Yeah, they
mean,
still make
Oh,
it.
they do?
Yeah, it's not that old. I
Now,
think
if you down that whole thing, you're going to be like running around the house.
I will be. I know. And at
Yeah.
this hour, I'm not. That's why I was like,
If
I wonder-
Diane downs that whole thing, she'll think she can go and fight some putties. She'd be like, I can take care of business.
you can find an army of putties in
I
the park.
apologize, guys. I'm a very bad influence. You guys should not be hanging out with me.
I know. Will lives all the way up in
Will is
Canada,
not.
Diane. So
Yeah, those Canadians. Yeah, watch
blame
out for
Canada for your problems, D.
Them. Blame Canada. Blame
What
Canada.
part of Canada are you in?
Manitoba, the middle of Canada. We
Nice.
kind of call it the Canada's armpit.
Wouldn't it be Canada's chest hair?
Currents,
It's
why don't
the
you
middle.
Google? Do me a favor. Google a map of Canada in your studio and tell us if it looks like an armpit or not.
Well, actually,
ahead
it
and
kind of
Google
does if you think
Go ahead
about
and
it.
Google it. You have time. Use your phone.
I'm in
Maybe-
Raleigh, North Carolina, so I'm like way down
Woo!
south from you. If you couldn't tell from my accent, people ask me all the time. They're like, "So, are you from North Carolina or South Carolina?" I'm like, "Is it really that obvious that I'm from the South?" But yeah, I guess it is.
We're all over the world, so let's just put it that way. And we are so thankful that all of us are here in the studio trying to focus on one simple thing, but yet we're focused on
Power
Surge.
Rangers.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. And I'm glad you enjoyed the Surge, right?
Yes.
that true?
And I've enjoyed the discussion that you guys have been having about Power Rangers. This has been really, really fun. Yeah. I was the one who said that, Amy Jo Johnson was my
Yes.
favorite. And you were
Yes.
saying I remember all the guys, in elementary school, they were always
Yeah, we were crushing.
the Pink
Yeah.
Ranger.
Yeah, I'm a little older than you guys, so I was Ashley from In Space. That was
Yeah,
my
Kearns
Power
was
Ranger.
Kearns is only 12, Diane, just so you know.
Ryan.
He's a baby.
How many times do I have to remind you? I am this many.
You're 25, I know. He's 25, Diane. Just to be perfectly
25.
clear.
Oh, you are a baby. Ryan and I are both 35. We're
Yeah,
getting
we're
up
the same
there in
exact age. So it's like
I am the oldest one here, I think.
Yeah.
Tim, you're
I'm old enough to be your mom,
No,
so-
Willow, didn't you
You
just
look
turn the
young.
big
You
4-0?
you all look young.
Willow, didn't you just turn
Yeah.
the big 4-0 earlier this year?
I did.
Yeah, she's 40.
Okay, I'm not the oldest one. All right.
Yeah, Tim, you're a year
Tim's
older
like,
than me.
I feel great.
Tim is 36.
Tim's like
Kearns is
Kirk at the
25,
end of
Willow's 40, and then
Rapacon
Diane
right
and I are
now.
35.
I feel young.
Kearns is such a baby.
The thing about Power Rangers is it does literally bring people together,
Yeah, it
young
does.
and
It
old.
does.
So,
Yeah, it does. Look at the convention circuits. Look at the
Well-
conventions.
This is the thing about
Yeah.
Power Rangers is it's a superhero show.
It is.
And like
Mhm.
everybody loves superheroes. It's the reason why you go to a
Mhm.
Marvel movie, it's young kids and old people. Like that's why
Old
Power
people?
Rangers has stuck around for all these years because
Yeah.
it's a superhero
And-
property.
And older people
Yeah.
bringing their kids into it, like, hey, check this
Just
out.
like
This is what
it's
I
no
like
different
about
than
it,
it's like if I have kids, like it's no different than me introducing them to Superman. Like that's
Or
also
Indiana
why,
Jones.
Yeah.
the
and-
old
and-
Indiana Jones is not.
And what
the
I
old
like
ones.
too is Power Rangers has kept adding seasons. So, there's just so many different places for a
And-
kid to start. They can start with a new
and
season
especially
or one of
with
the
the
old ones.
How
future-
many seasons are there total?
Jesus.
Is it
30
30?
will be coming up.
30th season is coming up, and just so everybody knows, and I want to try to get this back on the rails here because enough about Surge. So we're celebrating. I'm losing my head. We're celebrating the memory of Jason David Frank, and just to let everyone know, they are celebrating the 30th anniversary of Mighty Morphin, Power Rangers in general here in North America because it's based off the Japanese Super Sentai series that's been going on for decades and decades and decades and decades and decades. But Power Rangers does turn 30 next year. And Hasbro and the studios have informed us they do have plans for the 30th anniversary. A lot of special things are going to go down next year. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in store.
And then it's
Hopefully,
gonna
You
be
know
it's
what-
great
brand
stuff.
new after that. It's
You
all
know
gonna
what
be
is
brand new.
sad is if they do, if
We
they
don't
do
know.
a 30th reunion, it's going to be the first time they do one of these reunion specials that Tommy won't be in it.
Well, the next Power Morphicon in 2 years, that's going to be difficult. Well, not difficult, but it is.
Yeah.
They are going to mention a lot of people who have
Yeah.
passed on since the show began in '93. Let's be perfectly honest. When they
Yeah.
do it every year. Well, they do it. Power Morphicon is every 2 years, just to be perfectly clear, and that's in California. For those of you who may be wondering. So, if you want more information, go to PowerMorphicon.com. More information has been released about the next one, I believe. But even so here's the deal. Jason, David, Frank, if you have any memories, any moments you want to share with us, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Don't forget to like and share this video with all of your closest friends. And once again, I want to thank all the panelists who have come and gone on this presentation for this night, for this weekend. For me, I got to clear my throat here because I'm saying way too much. Oh my gosh.
Take a
Let's
breath,
see here.
Ryan.
Hey,
Dude,
Ryan,
I'm gonna need to drink a surge after this
Yeah.
is over. Yeah.
get some surge. Ryan, remind me the name of that convention that happens in Florida.
Oh, it's Ranger Stop. Ranger Stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Are
in
you
Orlando.
kidding?
That's every year. Mikey runs
Every
that.
year.
Hey, Mikey, how you doing? Go to rangerstop.com for more information about that.
Cool. Does Austin St. John go to that one? Because I saw him at GalaxyCon in Raleigh.
Yes.
That was really cool.
Occasionally, they rotate guests every year for Ranger Stop, and also Ranger Stop has another show called Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta, Georgia, that's held in the summer, and it's going to be held in June of 2023.
Nice.
Cool.
So make sure you check out rangerstop.com for more information on that. And no, Mikey, I know you didn't pay me to say that, but whatever. So, oh, gosh, more people are chiming in this chat, and it's great. I love it. It's a result. Let's see here. Dude, that comic is awesome, referring to Shattered Grid, and I believe Sins of the Future. You may want to correct me on that.
Or
see,
Soul
Mr.
the Dragon, one of the 400
Yeah.
comics we mentioned here.
Mr.
I
Timmy
mean, the
Ray the
newer
King
comics
says,
have been fire.
yeah. Mr. Timmy Ray the King says, I'm new here, new to the channel. My name's Timmy. Good to see you. Lightning says, yo, bro, what's up? 37 years old over here, Lightning, he says. Let's see. Timmy Ray the King says, I remember the MMPR because I remember the very first episode, Day of the Dumpster, because I was born in 1985. Yes, I remember it very well. Thanks for asking. Okay.
That's a great episode. I still love that episode.
I love Day of the Dumpster. Love,
Yeah, it's
love.
really and what I like about it is I love that moment when sort of the four other kids are kind of like, this is kind of dumb, but I love how there's a moment where Jason's the only one who really fully believed in that the whole time because he's the last
Jason
to
was in
walk
from the
out,
beginning.
you know.
No.
And then that's why he's the one who's like, let's use these morphers, guys, come on. And then
Oh,
let's transport from the desert to the city because stock footage. Or
But-
no, we gotta
Yeah, it
battle
was.
the
No, it was.
monster here.
It was, yeah, but that's using footage from Japanese
Yeah.
Super Sentai footage. Let's just but anyway, more people have chimed in. I want to acknowledge them. Daisy LT83, aka Laura's in the building. What's up, Laura? She says, I think they already filmed the 33 reunion before JDF passed. Yeah, but he wasn't involved with it. So, just saying. Let's see. Super Sentai. Let's see. Lightning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 says Cosmic Fury is the first one where they get original suits.
Mhm.
Okay.
Was that the
interesting.
ninja suits or?
No, there's some shots online you could look up.
You can, yeah, they're on Google Images somewhere. I can't remember
Mhm.
exactly. Let's see here. Timmy Ray the King says, I wish Power Morphicon will come to Northeast Louisiana because it never comes to Northeast. So, well, Power Morphicon is normally held in
Pasadena. Yeah, it's Pasadena.
Anaheim, California.
Pasadena.
One of the two. Thank you.
Those West Coast people just hogging Power Rangers from us East Coasters.
Yeah, they don't want us to have fun. Anyway, enough
That's where
about
the money
that.
is.
So here's
All
my
right,
deal.
Tim, what's your reasoning?
Oh, jeez. He has a reasoning for everything.
We're poor
No.
on the East Coast. I mean, come on now.
But well, here's the thing, though. We get our
We
own
have
suit.
conventions.
Well, listen, on the East Coast, we do have Ranger Stop, which is in Orlando, Florida every year. You also have Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta every year.
We
You
have
also
Disney
have-
World, where the Power Rangers used to be.
Yeah, but that whatever. The people who run the show live in Florida, hence the reason it's in Orlando, Florida. Anyway, so here's the deal. Jason David Frank. Let's talk about him for a minute, because Lord knows we've been off the rails too too long. So for me, Jason David Frank, I remember watching the show like everyone else back in '93 when it first started. I remember seeing White Lights when he debuts as the White Ranger, one of the greatest episodes in the history of the series, in my opinion, because when you hear him getting the Saba Sword, you see him getting the Tiger Zord, you see them morph to become the Mega Tiger Zord in that same episode, which is White Light Part 2, just to give everyone some context. That's one of my favorite moments. Obviously, the Dino Thunder stuff that came up is really cool. But for me personally, my favorite Tommy memory is White Light Part 2. I think it was great. I thought it was really well executed. You all thought it was going to be a new Ranger, new dude walking in on set and saying, "Hey, I'm the new guy. What's happening here?" And before that, behind the scenes story, before I share with you some photos that we have here in the studio, Brad Hawkins, who portrayed Ryan Seal on VR Troopers, was somewhat going to be the new White Ranger, but unfortunately the deal never happened. They were still filming VR Troopers at the time. They did, and J.C. David Frank agreed to come back because the kids were writing into Saban saying, "We're not eating our vitamins, we're not eating cereal unless the Green Ranger comes back." So it's a true story, Diane, I kid you not. So they brought J.C. David Frank back. He becomes the White Ranger, and as they say in the history books, the rest is history.
What
So
I
for me,
like
it's
is also a few episodes before that, there you see Tommy writing the letter to Jason after Jason reaches out to him, and he's wearing his whole white outfit. So they were alluding already he was the White Ranger before they even officially revealed it. I like watching season 2 and I was like, oh, look at that, Saban.
Even before Jason and Zeo, it was going to be Brad Hawkins too, because they had him do the voices.
Well, he was the voice of the first old Ranger,
yeah.
True.
So they were going to try to fit that in there somewhere.
Poor Brad Hawkins thought he was going to have VR Troopers and Power Rangers, but
I would have loved
just
to have
got
seen
stuck
that
with
crossover.
VR Troopers.
Well,
that would have been awesome.
You got it in the comics, but in the
don't
early
ruin it for me. I haven't read it yet, but I wish we would have gotten a PR and a VR Troopers crossover within the canon of the show. That would have been great. I would have loved that. But door number 2, we did get a little bit, just a little bit, even though she was portraying a different character. Sarah Brown, who portrayed Caitlin Starr on VR Troopers, does appear in Power Rangers in the episode titled "There's No Business Like Snow Business."
Oh, who's she
True
by?
story. True story. I kid you not. So, gosh, more people are.
Wait, wasn't that? Yeah, that was the episode we were talking about when Kimberly Dearjohn's Tommy.
Hey, she gave me a John Deere letter. Anyway, get out of here. So, Mr. Timmy Ray King says, my favorite episode of MMPR was The Return of an Old Friend, parts 1 and 2, with the Green Ranger saga continuing on there. Yeah, that's true.
That's a good one.
Yeah, let's see. Derpy501 says, my favorite memory of Tommy is from Dino Thunder, where she says, "Aren't you a little old for this, Tommy?" I may be old, but I can still pull it off. Which is the true quote, by the way. Now, my memories of Jason David Frank, I had the pleasure of meeting him. I've been going to conventions for 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. And one of the first conventions I went to was something called Lexington Comic and Toy Convention in Lexington, Kentucky. And Lexington Comic Con is known for bringing in a lot of the veteran Ranger actors as guests at the convention, okay? So I went to the convention that weekend. I told my parents, I said, there's going to be so many people there. I want to meet my childhood heroes. This has to happen. It has to happen. And we made it happen. And I went to Lexington. First person I saw, I believe it was Serena Vincent from Lost Galaxy. Then I met up with Karen Ashley, who played Aisha. Then I met up with David Yost. Because all the booths were next to each other. All the Power Ranger actors were in similar booths that were like next to each other in this giant row, right? They called it Ranger Row, ironically enough. And finally, I get to the big guy. I get to JDF. His line was long, very long, excruciatingly long. My feet were bleeding. I was tired. I needed 600 surges, but I couldn't find him. But eventually, I got up to his booth and I said, "Dude, I've waited a long time for this. Let me tell you." And he was so cool. He was so nice. He signed some posters or prints, whatever it was, and he's like, "Hey, man, let me sign some extra stuff for you." I'm like, "Oh, no, you don't have to do this." He's like, No, it's cool, man, not a problem. He signed some extra posters for me for free. He signed some extra stickers, to the point where he gave me like 3 or 4 stickers signed by him. I gave one of them to a friend of mine, and he was ecstatic. That's the kind of giving person that Jason David Frank was, and this is the image that we took at Lexington Comic and Toy Convention. We did the It's Morphin' Time pose.
That's awesome.
A friend of mine went into something called Photoshop, and he photoshopped the MMPR logo and the Green Ranger. So the character as you see there in the below it. Great stuff. I said, "You ready?" He says, "You ready?" I said, "Yeah, I'm ready." I was so like, it's a bit nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit nervous. It's like I'm morphing with the big dude. How is this gonna work? He says, "All right, you ready?" I say, "Yeah. 1, 2, 3. It's morphin' time." And then he just like smiles, and then we do the shot. And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I like before he took I was so starstruck. It was crazy. So that was the
Yours
first time.
kind of looks
This
like
was-
a Kamehameha wave there.
what was that?
It kind of looks like a Kamehameha wave with,
Yeah, it was.
with yours.
Yeah, my morphing call wasn't the best, but listen, it was my first time. Get off my back.
I just want to say before we get too far away from this, Ryan, you talk about the long line. Jason was famous for at conventions doing the last fan standing
Yeah.
stuff. Like that
Yeah,
was
he wouldn't
he
quit.
would not leave a
wouldn't
table
quit.
until he met every fan. It didn't matter. He always like let conventions know that that's how he worked. Like he would never leave as long as there was and then like I told my story, that was he had a panel to go to and still wouldn't leave until he got to meet
Yeah.
me. Like, you know, just you
Yeah,
don't
he
get
was
that because
never-
some of these conventions, you know, they have these people who are like, I'm gonna do
Move
this for
along.
2 hours and then I'm
Move
going
along.
home. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't care how many people.
I remember
are here.
seeing so many online. I would always try to watch all the Q&As like from all the different
Mhm.
Rangers.
Yeah.
I always loved Jason's. 'Cause
Yeah.
Oh
it
yeah,
was-
he's got stories
especially
for
the one
days.
he did with Jason Narvi, and they were talking about the desert camping story and the
Mhm.
film in the first movie. He was like, and literally was like, brought a big box and put it on the table, and it was nothing but guns. I was like, oh god.
There's a great moment in one of those to where the a girl went up and she was like, she was like, so you dated them both during the show, but which one do you think Tommy wanted to wind up with, Kat or Kimberly? Was like, why not both?
Okay, that's a little. That's not appropriate for a children's show, and we're going to leave it at that. So that picture that you just saw was taken at Lexington Comic Con 2013. That was one of my first conventions I ever went to, and the next time I saw him was a couple years later. I think it was in 20. I want to say was it 2016, 2016, maybe 2017. This was taken at Awesome Con in Washington D.C., our nation's
Aw.
capital.
That's
And the reason I got in his line in the first place was because a friend of mine couldn't make it to the convention, and I said that I would go in his line and I would get an autograph for him. And I did, and he was cool about it. He's like, hey, I'm doing this for my friend. He's like, oh, that's great, man. That's really good stuff. And he's like, because I paid for the autograph, but I didn't pay for a selfie. And Jason just looks at me. He's like, hey, you ready to take the picture? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So he took a free selfie with me, and he's like, all right, man, let's do it. And then he holds up his hand. I'm wearing my white Ranger. I'm like, dude, yeah, I can do the fists. I can do the fist pose. It's fine. So we took the picture, and it was great. He was cool about it, and it was good to see him again. It was a bit of a long. It wasn't as long as his Lexington line was, but it was still like, you know how his line gets. It's just crazy.
Did you tell him that you had met him years before?
Yeah, I
you-
did.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he remembered me because he meets 30,000 people a
Oh, of
day, so it's
course.
like he's not going to remember all the fans that come up to him. But yeah,
That's great that he spends so much time, with each of the
Mhm.
fans. I mean, that's probably why his line was so long, because people know that they get that individualized attention with him.
Yeah, he's one of the most
Yeah.
popular people at conventions. His line is 6 miles deep all the time. He's always promoting his social media accounts. He's always taking pictures and selfies and vlogs with his phone. If you notice in some of the videos, he's taking vlogs with his phone.
Yeah,
Which
Instagram
he did when I was-
would always be. He'd always do.
Yeah,
one
he would
of
always
those,
do this. It's like,
polls
okay,
that-
guys, we're at
yeah.
Awesome Con. Say yeah. It's like, and then he would do go go Power Ranger. Like he would make us like sing the song with him in his line. So it's crazy. It's wild. But it's the good kind of crazy and wild, not like those things we don't talk about on the air. But
Ryan, did you
Yes.
know that he had actually received an 8th degree black belt
mhm,
in Shotokan? Am I saying that correctly? In karate.
maybe.
And yeah, and
Okay.
he was experienced in like 7 or 8 different types of karate.
Oh yeah.
And so they
Yeah.
blended them together, and he had his own name for the karate called Toso Kundo. Like
Whoa.
he just kind of put them all together. Yeah, because he was just so, talented at it. So, and
Really?
then in kickboxing, his nickname was Fearless Frank.
Well, yeah, that's because that was his name on his YouTube and Twitter and
Mhm.
Instagram. It was JDFFFN, like Fearless Frank Nation
Yeah.
was what the FFF stood for on his social media accounts, which is a true story. But my gosh, I didn't know that he would named something, or there was something named after the amounts of studying that he did in martial arts and all that kind of jazz. Because the only thing we gotta say to that is this.
Yes! That's awesome!
I mean, that is just some good stuff. Yeah, so those are the memories I have of Jason David Frank. Just some of the episodes that stood out for me. I think White Light's the one that stands out for me. And those are some of the memories I remember meeting him, talk with him. He's a good guy. He answered my questions, got some extra autographs for free, which is always nice to get from anybody. Period. So those are the memories I have. As far as since you're just joining us, Diane, do you have any other memories or moments featuring Jason David Frank that you want to share with us?
I mean, I was just gonna say I also loved him when he was in the white suit. You know, when you were talking about that earlier. I
White
was
Ranger,
thinking
yeah.
of yeah, the White Ranger, like that. I always enjoyed watching him as the White Ranger too. Although I really enjoyed the green the best. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's-
That's good
mhm.
stuff. Awesome stuff. Well, I
What's your favorite episode with him?
feel like I'm repeating myself for the last like 20 minutes. Okay, so
Oh,
White
sorry, you
Light.
already answered that. Sorry.
White Light Part 2
Okay.
is probably. We're gonna listen.
That's a good question, though.
We're gonna be here all night.
episode.
So, White Light Part 2 is probably my favorite Tommy-centric episode, but I will give Forever Red, even though it's a team up. It's not just a Tommy episode. Forever Red, I thought was a great episode because it was the first time we saw Austin in a very long time.
Yeah.
Because he walks in the room and says, "You didn't think I was going to let you do this without the original Red Ranger, did you? You see that? You see that? That's originality. That's the original Red Ranger. What's up, yo?" So that was a great episode. Forever Red was fantastic.
Green
Yeah,
Ranger
those-
versus White Ranger was a cool two-parter.
Mhm.
That was
Mhm.
a cool one. And,
yeah,
and
Jason David Frank just had this weird, strange habit of fighting himself like every couple of seasons.
that episode where he fought Urkel in the park was also a good one.
Oh,
Hmm.
Jason
Family
David
Matters.
Frank made an appearance
Family
on
Matters.
Family Matters
Yeah.
as a bully.
Yeah.
And
Okay, never
Urkel,
mind. I was like, where are
Urkel
you
goes
going
in his
with this?
machine and turns into Bruce Lee and beats him up. It's pretty fun.
Mhm.
It's
It
a
was
fun
just-
episode.
What was the
Yeah.
episode when he ends up in a coma?
Oh, and
He
Dino
was-
Thunder.
That
Dino
was,
Thunder.
that was
Yeah.
Legacy of
Yeah,
Power,
when he's
wasn't it?
frozen.
No,
Yeah.
not Legacy of Power.
Well, if
Yeah,
anyone
he's
wants to
Power
Google
was
that in the
the flip
backstage
show.
area, Willow, I'm looking at you. Let
Yeah, I
us
don't
know. I'm
know
kidding. She's not
offhand.
gonna
Because
Google
he
it.
ends up having
Sorry.
that team where he has to fight. You know,
Yeah,
all
he
these-
fights
Yeah, he's
the White
Yeah.
Ranger, the Green
Yeah.
Ranger,
And the Zeo
and
Ranger.
Zeo. Yeah, Zeo.
He fights all
That's
three.
a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that episode.
That was a good one too. Yeah. I mean, for me, White Light was
Yeah.
my favorite Tommy, but that's just show related. By the way, what did we think? And this, I'll go around the round table because, like I said, I'm doing my best to keep the focus on JDF, which I think I'm doing an okay job on. What did we think of the crossovers in Superpower Beatdown with White Ranger versus Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, and then you had the Green Ranger versus Ryu from Street Fighter? What did we think of those?
So for me, obviously I love JDF, so I followed him on social media. I remember when he was posting about the Ryu versus Green Ranger video, but I never remember him posting a link. And so I was like, what is this show? Why can't I find it? Is this a movie? Like, where is this? And then I remember finding the episode and then seeing all the other Bad in the Sun stuff, which is just awesome. But that's probably my favorite one he did. Because the thing about the White Ranger one is he has a nice little cameo at the end. But in the Ryu one, you get to see him fight unmorphed first against Ryu, and then he morphs. So that's probably my favorite one. And that also introduced me to Bad in the Sun, which I love all their videos.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of good crossovers that
Yeah.
we're going to get on the big screen. So, I mean,
That's what I love about it. They do cross, like Kick-Ass versus Casey Jones. We're never gonna see that in a movie, but they're like,
Batman
yeah, we're
versus
gonna,
Darth Vader.
yeah, like that's all.
Like-
Wolverine versus Predator. Like,
You think that's good? Let me tell you something. I think the Wolverine versus Wonder Woman is fan
oh,
freaking tastic. Like that is a masterpiece of filmmaking,
that's-
and it's only 10 minutes long.
that intro at the X Mansion is better than some of the X-Men movies we've gotten.
Bad in the
I-
Sun does amazing work. Like,
Yeah, they really they
they need to do stuff full time. Honestly,
Well, I mean, no, they don't do it full time because, well, here's the other thing, and this is going back to what JDF was doing. He was working on Legend of the White Dragon
yeah.
before his untimely demise. I think the film was already finished, or at least in post-production, I believe, and they were promoting it on the convention tours because I know at Power Morphicon, JDF had a booth there with Legend of the White Dragon. You saw there was footage of that at PMC. I think he was doing another convention where he was promoting Legend. I think Legend of the White Dragon was in post-production, wasn't it?
Yeah, because there was some trailers online that I saw.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in post-production, but I'm hoping that they're
That
going to
as
release
well.
that because it was a Kickstarter, but I'm hoping they release it in a more wide release for people to see, because I do want to see Legend of the White Dragon, because that looks freaking
Mhm.
awesome. As a send-off, as a swan song for Jason David Frank's work as an actor,
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
That
And we
movie's
hope-
definitely getting dedicated to him.
Oh,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure, and I hope
Oh,
we
yeah.
get it in the future, because it's supposed to come out in some point in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. There,
Yeah, I think so. 2023.
early 2023.
Jason
maybe?
Font's in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't it like March or June of 2023 they're supposed to release Legend of the White
Might
Dragon?
be Ryan, but don't quote me. I think
No, it's all right. If listen,
No, we're
anyone
quoting
we
you,
can
Tim. We're
we
holding
can we
you
can
to
we can
this.
work we can Google it after the show. It's fine. We don't have to worry about it right now. But I'm hoping that we get a chance to see that. With that being said, goodness gracious, we've shared so many memories, so many thoughts, so many feelings, so many toys. We wish that we had it. We don't. But this has been a great show. This has been a lot. Yeah, thank you for rubbing that in my face. Don't get me started. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of you who have participated in the chat. I want to say thank you to each and every one of our panelists who have come through the studio during the course of the special presentation. Thank you all so much for being here. I want to thank our panelists, from Matt Kearns, from Tim to Willow, to apparently North Carolina has a Power Ranger fan that I wasn't aware of. Diane Cook was in the building. And Rocky, who was here earlier, Patricio, wish you well. Hope everything's well in your neck of the woods. Thank you all for being here. This has been a good, just keep rubbing it in, buddy. Just keep rubbing it in that you have all the toys and we don't. Yeah, I really wish I would have kept my Saba sword, for Pete's sake. But
Money
anyway.
talks, baby.
Did they
Don't
make action figures of the Green
All of
Ranger
them.
Shredder?
All of them.
Shredder?
Oh,
Every single one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
And
this
Willow's
was a
playing the
Shredder,
song
like-
off of her Dragon Dagger.
Oh, look at that dagger. That's cool.
That's the original too, Diane. That's not the remake.
What?
It is.
How
Can we
long
bring
have
a
you
close
had
up
that?
image of that? Let me see that, Willow. Go ahead. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring this up. Stop being silly. There you
here. I'm sorry. Here,
go.
I'll...
Turn up the glare. So yeah, Willow has one too many toys. Yeah, that's her Dragon Dagger.
There's
There it is.
nothing wrong with having too many toys.
Look at all the toys. Santa's been good to you, Lex.
Where does she get those wonderful toys?
Exactly.
Toys R Us, my friend.
Yeah, baby. TRU, where it's great to be a Toys R Us kid. Anyway, get away from me. We're not going to talk about that. Too many memories of Toys R Us. No,
It's
too
back at
many.
Macy's. Kind of.
Hey,
But listen, this has been fun. This has been great. I hope you've enjoyed this from the comfort of your very own home. Whether you're watching this live or on the replay, don't forget to like and share this video with all of your closest friends, because they're going to like the way they look after watching or listening to this Jason David Frank, a tribute. We guarantee it. I'm going to go around the horn here. Matt Kearns, where can the good people of the interwebs find you online and everything you have coming up, and any final thoughts?
Yeah, so I'll do my final thoughts first.
Go ahead.
I remember when I found out about Jason, I came out of church actually, and I just went on Twitter and I saw a bunch of people posting pictures of Jason and everything. And of course, unfortunately, in this sort of post-COVID world, when you see stuff like that, your first thought is the worst stuff. To me, this is all very similar to 2014 when we lost Robin Williams. These are two guys who just meant so much to my childhood, and to lose them in the way we did is really unfortunate. And I feel bad for future generations that, newer kids are not going to get New Adventures of Tommy. But like Rocky said at the beginning of this, hopefully if there's one positive come out of this, it does sort of show all of us that, if you are struggling, if you are going through stuff, talk to a friend, a family member, a therapist, whatever you need to, because if, everybody has struggles and, but if there's one good thing, Jason is leaving behind a legacy of so much. He will probably still go down as the greatest Ranger of all time. But you can find me on Twitter at Kearns_Matthew. You can find me on YouTube in two separate places. One is Matt Movies 611, where I do a lot of, that's my sort of random dumping ground. I do a lot of different things, video essays, fan-made trailers, and then I also do some work over on Take 3 Productions. I host a few shows on there. Most recently, I uploaded a new episode of Second Look on my favorite fantasy movie, Willow, because I was hoping the algorithm would help me because of the new show that dropped. It didn't, so that's on me. And you can also find the playlist on there over the past 7 months. Me and my friend Mang Franks have done a James Bond retrospective where we've gone through all 25 Bond movies separated by the actors, and coming soon we will be ranking all the Bond movies. So
Can I get in on that?
it's only a 2-person thing, unfortunately,
Darn
but
it.
we could do a Bond thing on our own, Ryan, on
Ugh.
Nerd Culture here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have to
yeah.
discuss some ideas in the green room. But anyway, Kearns, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you being on our show tonight and being here, sharing your memories about Jason David Frank. And
Thank you for
everything he's
having
had.
me.
Yeah, you were and thank you for sharing that autograph with us that you got for free on that ridiculously good-looking print. Because White Ranger is my dog. It's my favorite of the JDX Rangers. But anyway, thank you for being with us. So Tim, the Toolman Taylor. I mean Tim, our good friend Tim.
How have I never made that joke, Tim? We've known each other for so long. I've never
Tim,
made that
the
joke.
Toolman.
I've heard. I've heard a few times.
Tim, it was so good to have you here. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Where can the good people of the interwebs follow you on social media and everything that you have coming up? What do you got?
Don't really have too much for social media. Used to do a lot with Multiplex Entertainment. I founded that, did TV for a long time, building that up. I still tell people go there if you love your movie trivia. They do a lot of fan stuff. It's fun doing that. Do a little bit with Malcolm with a bunch of randoms, so you can find me over there on that. But yeah, I mean, just to echo with the words with Matt had, I mean, Jason was one of these cultural icons that, I mean, we talked about typecasting earlier, but this was one of the, he made Power Rangers and kept fans coming back in droves for how we've heard from all the stories of his love of the fans, his appreciation of that. And he's always been, and I mean, forever will be one of the greatest stewards of the Power Rangers franchise from the past, present, and even the future. I mean, the man was a legend, and it is sad that we won't have him in the future anymore, but we have just the past legacy with him that can never be taken away. And I thank him for that. I've loved the Power Rangers ever since I was a kid. Loved him. It's sad that he's gone, but we have this whole legacy of him to keep us going, to remember, to cherish, to pass to our kids or our young relatives or just young people in general. We have that to pass on, so that's a good thing. But I do want to say, Ryan, I just want to do that to you one more time. I know you love it, but yeah, it's thank you for having me, and it's, you know, we're going to keep on morphing all the time.
Absolutely, sir. It's always going to be morphin' time in this household, and for everyone else, I hope so as well. For those of you watching at home, Tim, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to turn things over to our good friend of the Great White North. It's so cold. It's almost colder than Hoth. We need to get our Tauntaun, get something from the store. Willow, where can the good people of the interwebs follow you on social media and everything that you have coming up? Because Lord knows you're a busy podcaster. And any final thoughts
I try
that you
to
wish
be.
to share with us?
All right, so you can find me on most social media platforms. I am on Facebook, Twitter. I am on Instagram as well as TikTok. You can also follow me on YouTube. Tomorrow night, you will find me on Cryptid Crunch. We are talking about different holiday-themed monsters and cryptids. And yeah, so join me tomorrow night on the back of the Cereal Box Network.
Fabulous. That's great. Wonderful stuff. Willow, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. It's always good to have you here. Anything else interests you? You ever want to be on somewhere? And that goes for all the panelists. If you ever want to be on another one of our videos, please let us know by all means. With that being said, thank you so much. My name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Links to where you can follow me and some of the other projects I have coming up are located within the description below. And I post on my social media all the time, so we got that coming up and a few other things as well. Once again, thank you all for being here. We really greatly appreciate it. This has been a great trip down memory lane. And yes, we lost a legend, and it's something that was shocking. It put us in a state of shock. We couldn't believe it. But if anyone is struggling in any way, shape, or form with your mental health, please reach out and seek some resources that are available to you out there. Please do so. Do not be afraid to share your feelings, because asking for help is a sign of strength. It is not a weakness. I just want to make that perfectly clear. And once again, Jason David Frank, he may have passed away, but his legacy is going to live on forever. He has been a part of so many generations of Power Rangers fans around the world. He's going to continue to make an impact. Whether he is here in the physical sense or not, our hearts go out to his friends and his family during this very difficult time. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Nerd Culture is this close to 1,000 subscribers. If we reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year, 2022, we are going to throw the more phenomenal party that YouTube has ever seen. But we can only do that with your help. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, smash the notification bell so you get notified when our new videos go up. And now I invite our panelists. I invite you who are maybe watching or listening to this from your comfort of your very own home. We are going to have a moment of silence as we close out this presentation, celebrating the life of the late, great Jason David Frank. So please join me in that. And in the meantime, stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe, and may the power protect you always.